But after all these years, I'm still scared of thunder.
It's time for Middays with Thunder with Mitch Nellis, broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Good midday and welcome in. This is Middays with Thunder on a Victory Friday, a party time Friday, a celebration Friday. Can I play celebration? I'm not even allowed to play Celebration by Kool and the Gang anymore, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. This is party time on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app. One day we'll figure out radio. It's not today, but it will be someday. We are just overjoyed with the best team in the history of the 2025-2026 NFL season. That's right. There is one team that is 2-0. There is only one team that is 2-0, and they are our Green Bay Packers. After a dominant 28-17 win last night over the Washington Commanders, very similar to the win over the Lions, the opponent scores a meaningless touchdown toward the end. The score not indicative of how truly big of a dominant performance this was by our Green Bay Packers. Everybody, and I mean everybody, had a piece in this one. Everybody got something in this one. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Savion Williams, Matthew Golden not getting his yet, but I have a feeling that's about to change. We all know that. Tucker Kraft, unbelievable. Dontavian Wicks with a game. Romeo Doubs scored a touchdown. Offense, clicking, humming. And then on defense, I mean, we are not used to talking defense in the way we're talking about the defense. It has been since 1996 since we've talked about this. I know that Tommy and Andy on Packet A Radio were mentioning how we haven't seen defense like this since the turn of the century, right? Because 96 was when they were ranked first on offense and first on defense. And there were years with Aaron Rodgers where the defense was okay. There were years where it was good. 2010, that defense was really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good defense. It was not what we have seen. Now it's two out of 17. I don't know what the math is there. I can do math out of 16, right? 1 out of 8, that's 12.5%. Nobody knows math out of 17. Like 2 out of 7, like I don't know what percentage that is. It's like, 11% or so of the season is gone. 2 out of 17 games.
11.7.
11.7. There you go. But this team is absolutely fun to watch. Dominant in 2 performances over playoff teams. Not dominant in wins over Scrubby McScrubberson. Not dominant in wins over me, Tommy, and Charlie. Listen, me, Tommy, and Charlie would hit them in the mouth. If we were on the other side of the Green Bay Packers, we'd get some hits in. But we're not winning that football game if we had to suit up against the Green Bay Packers. They're not playing against me, Tommy, and Charlie. They are playing real football against real football teams, against playoff caliber football teams, and they are having their way with them. This is fantastic. This is excellent. And it's I just want to rejoice. I just want to rejoice here on the Fan. And the Nikolai Law Fan Talk and Text line is 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250 is our phone number. If you want to jump in and be a part of the show, what impressed you the most? Who was your player of the game? What are you excited about? We will talk about Jaden Reed and his injury. Of course, he's going to miss an extended amount of time, probably up to 2 months with his broken collarbone. Maybe a blessing in disguise because it lets his foot heal, it lets his shoulder heal. Maybe he can get everything healthy. And then as opposed to the trade deadline, getting somebody to come in, when you get guys that come off the PUP, or in baseball, when you guys get somebody off the DL or the IL or whatever, and all of a sudden you add Brandon Woodruff to your team, you didn't need to make a trade for a frontline pitcher. You had one come in. And that is what we will keep our eye on with our Green Bay Packers and with Jayden Reed. But it is a happy Friday. And this is what we all envisioned, right? This is what we all hoped for. This was what we all were thinking could happen. We're hopeful would happen. Some of us even were expecting this to happen, but that doesn't mean it happens, right? Because anytime you get on the field, weird things happen. The ball bounces weirdly. Who knows what can happen? But through 2 games, Micah Parsons has been as advertised. Edgerrin Coop has been as advertised. Lucas Van Ness has been better than advertised. And how about the end of the game? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. I mean, I get the concept of wanting to focus on you, wanting to focus on the Packers, but the WWE-ification of the fan base and of the cheering, getting "Thank you, Jerry" chants in Lambeau while Micah Parsons stepped to the desk with the hosts of the post-game show and just having it's just like such joy and such happiness and such gratefulness that this is, and I'm watching the game in the middle of the game last night. And I know, I said, I think I threw the question yesterday, who do you expect to play the best? And friend of show, Bill Johnson, longtime sports media host here in southeastern Wisconsin, said, well, it's Parsons until further notice. And I'm watching the game last night, and it is now 2 weeks and 1 day since Micah Parsons became a Green Bay Packer. And I feel like I still can't believe it. 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Was it 3 weeks ago?
I think it was 2 weeks yesterday.
Yeah. 2 weeks yesterday, right? I still can't believe it. I can't believe that the Packers made this move, and it has made this defense so good and everything through 2 weeks. Granted, we're going to keep beating this, and saying it over and over and over again. Scott on the Nicolay fan, the Nicolay Law fan talking text line, just sends in a picture of him wearing his Jordy Nelson jersey with a thumbs up. And it's like, that's the feeling today, right? The feeling today is rejoicing. The feeling today is excitement. But I still can't believe Micah Parsons is on this team. I can't believe that a player of this quality was traded and that the Packers are the team that went and got him. And I love the fact that the Packers have given up the least amount of rushing yards through 2 weeks than they have in the modern era, I think I heard today. Since the 50s. That 97 yards through 2 weeks, and that not just 97 yards, but 97 yards against a Lions team with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, who run over everybody, and then against a Washington team with arguably the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL, a man who ran for around 900 yards last year, Jayden Daniels. What an unbelievable performance. And that doesn't even count the pass rush they're getting. That doesn't even count the pressure. And I counted I went back. I woke up at 2 a.m. and I went back and counted. And throughout the game, there were 714,622 holding by the Washington Commanders offensive line that were not called. Tommy, did you get that? 714,622 holds that were not called against the Washington offensive line that could have been called against the Green Bay Packers last night.
You can do that on everything in the NFL, right?
I know.
It obviously didn't
impact
low-hanging
fruit? Is that what you're telling me? That was low-hanging fruit?
Well, it's just always like that, it feels like. And on either side of the NFL landscape.
You're right.
I just think that if it was directly impacting Green Bay, if they would have called a hold on every play, or they wouldn't have let them hold on every play, they might have destroyed Jayden Daniels by the end of the game.
Well, and some of us needed Micah Parsons to get to 1 sack to win their Thunderdog last night, and he was stuck at half, and that's not what I needed. It was a small underdog wager, so I'm not mad about it. But it would have been nice if he could have gotten that full sack. But it's how how often last year, we started this show October 14th, 2024. So 11 months ago. And how many times did we pull our hair out at the lack of pass rush from 4? The fact that we were screaming for them to send in a 5th or put 5 or 6 guys on the line and send 4, but not know where they're coming from to just get more creative. And now that Hafley gets to have Micah Parsons on his defense, it has changed everything. I mean, it has changed Edgerrin Cooper. It has changed Rashawn Gary. It has absolutely changed LVN. And you guys called it at the beginning of the Mason Crosby show. It's changed Mr. Wyatt as well. Like, and that's I think one of the surprising things is like, all right, so you expect it to change the rest of the edge rushers as the hierarchy, as we talk about, like, when Trevor McGill comes back, Abner Uribe jobs get easier. Jared Koenig's job gets easier. Everybody's job gets easier. Like Micah Parsons, that's the same with Gary. It's the same with LVN. It's the same with Edge when he's rushing. But you don't necessarily figure out that it's going to get easier with the interior defensive linemen who kind of have different jobs. Like, they're not known for their pass rush. They're known for getting a push up front, stopping the run, and creating holes for the pass rushers. Well, Devontae Wyatt is getting his.
Can I say something also about Devontae Wyatt?
You can say anything about Devontae Wyatt, Tommy. Tommy Wirtz is here, by the way, on Middays with Thunder. He is with us all day today, and he's just the best. No, I don't want to get hate for this.
Don't
get hate then.
Has Devontae Wyatt done more in the last 2 games than Kenny Clark did all last season?
Ooh.
I mean, no shade at Ken.
Pick it on the injured dude, huh?
We like Ken. He's great.
We love Kenny, and he's a great guy.
But Devontae Wyatt has been a menace at the nose tackle, 3 tech, wherever he's been on the interior defensive line. And it was a big part of why Micah Parsons came over is Kenny Clark was involved in the trade, and Dallas immediately saying that in their presser, like, oh, we get a Pro Bowler right away, and we get the 2 first-round picks. But Kenny Clark was kind of the forefront of the trade when Jerry Jones was speaking to the media about it, at least. And Devontae Wyatt might just be better, Mitch, than Kenny Clark right now.
He might be, but he also is the recipient, is one of the recipients, as everyone on this defense, as Javon Bullard is, as Keyshawn Nixon is. They're all recipients of the presence of Micah Parsons. And we talked about this a lot last week and earlier this week. Can one person really make this big of a difference? And most fans said yes. And I was kind of hesitant to say one person on a team of 11 could make this big of a difference, but it sure looks like it. We do have confirmation Austin Eckler did in fact tear his Achilles. So you don't wish that on anybody. That was the other major injury that came out of last night. And he's got a long road ahead of him. And again, as we talk about, a Father Time is undefeated. Austin Eckler, a veteran. So it's going to be a little bit longer for him. But we hope he's okay. And that sucks. Like, I want to beat the opponent. I want to smash them into the ground. I don't want anybody to get hurt like that. Like, I don't want anybody to be out for the year. Like, I want to physically be better than another team, but I don't want that to happen. So we hope that he is okay. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. That's crazy. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. It is absolutely a joyous Friday. I have to think that, even I was at Duncan this morning, and a dude walks in wearing his Bart Starr jersey. Love that. Love the gear. Love everybody who's wearing gear yesterday. Love people who are wearing it today. I will say that, the fans showed up in white. And there were all different colors there too. Miles Turner didn't get the memo, although he showed up in my favorite, rocking the purple, baby. Let's go, Miles Turner.
He should never, shame on photo takers for putting him next to Caleb Durbin.
No, they did that on purpose.
Oh, I know they did.
Yeah,
but
Caleb was on social media being like, look how little I am.
Yeah.
Look how big this guy is.
Yeah.
He was embracing it.
Was that Cormac Ryan up there too? Was that the new guy up
How's
there?
He already?
Yeah, right. I think he was up there.
I feel like Sal was up there, but it's like, I would say to Sal as a native Bostonian, I'd be like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know he grew up a Patriots fan, but I want all the Brewers to embrace the Packers, just like I want all the Packers
Did
to
you
embrace
see all
the
those
Brewers.
white cheddar heads too?
Love the white cheddar head. Whose idea was that yesterday on the show? That they could you could spray paint the cheddar head white, and there's your white.
I wonder if they were selling them because they were like custom made, kind of. For
Right. Well, Durbin and
Joey
Ortiz
and,
had their name on. I'll bet they had white cheddar heads they were selling yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'll bet they had like obviously special nameplates, because I'm not going out and buying a Durbin one. I buy a Thunder one.
I don't know. Would it kind of be cool to have nameplates on the cheese heads?
I kind of think it is.
Yeah. Now that I say that, could you
want
sell
your last name, or do you want your nickname?
Well, I'm wondering on like
are you going
T-Dog
on
are you
there,
going T-Dog?
or
they could sell actual license of
like
the players,
like number one. Nah, but I feel like that's more like wearing a license plate. Like I mean, like dude, you might not remember this movie, The Last Boy Scout.
No,
I want to say Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, and like it opens with like a football scene where like the running back pulls out a gun and like literally shoots like a defender as he's running into the end zone, and like because he was like super high on drugs and he owed millions to the gamblers, and like he just like and then he does he unalives himself. But later in the movie, the star quarterback of the team, as they're investigating like why this all happened, he's working with, I think, Bruce Willis, who's the cop, but he's got his number like shaved into both sides of his head. And Bruce Willis's daughter's like, what is that, like a license plate for your head? So you don't forget your number. Like, I feel like that, like, I think like you gotta have your name. Like, I think I hate your name on a jersey, right? I would hate Wirtz on a number 10 Brewers jersey. Or number 10 Packers. Like, I hate your name on a Brewers or Packers.
What if you get like a custom number where you get like a decimal point or something in there where it's kind of kooky?
You don't play for the team. You're not on the team. It's not your jersey. So I don't love that. But I get maybe if it's custom, if it's like like if we had 105.7 on a Packers jersey or on an
it would actually be like you be number 1, Mason is 05 and I'm 0.7. Like, and then we can sit by each other at the game, and then that's where I'm like,
all right, I kind of like that.
I mean,
yeah, if you're doing that, that's fun.
I actually saw Allie do that with her that's the first time I ever met Allie, was at a Brewers game.
Okay.
Because they were sitting in front of me with her old morning show, and there was Allie was 1. Riggs was 1.
Okay.
Allie was 03, and then Judge might have been 0.7 or something like that. Like that was branding back then.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it only works for that though. Like if you wear that without the other people, it's a little, I don't like I wouldn't, I don't know. But I think with the cheddar head, I would want to put like Thunder on it. Like, I'm not putting Parsons on a cheddar head that I'm wearing. Like, that's his cheddar head. It's not my cheddar head.
Just wondering.
Yeah. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, the Nikolai Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Who was your player of the game? We've got Mikey Henninger coming up at 12:20 today. He runs Basement Brood Fantasy Football. He's a fantasy football guru, so you can get your fantasy football questions answered by him if you want to throw them up into Facebook or on the text line. Do you need? Are you starting? I don't even know who. Whatever players you have on your team, you can ask those questions. Mike will be answering those. JOCKO, our friend Mike Jacques from Madison, who was at the Packers game last night. He's going to jump on at 1:00 to talk Packers and Badgers. And then a special, we've got Andy Herman, who was on the Mason Crosby show earlier. He's going to be, we're going to listen to that at 1:20 as well, just to dive even deeper into what a Packers game it was last night. My name's Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. This is Middays with Thunder on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app, free on the iHeart app, and of course, free on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. This is Middays with Thunder on 1250 AM, 1057 FM, The Fan. My name is Mitch Nellis. I'm here with you today, 11 to 2. It's been a blast with this new show, new programming, and new opportunity to be live and local, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, and even more than that when we've got specialty program like we do today. Today, join Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's and Sparky on the road. He'll be at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward this afternoon. He's there from 2 to 5:30, special extra half hour. That's brought to you by Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea on 1250 AM and 1057 FM, The Fan, because then Tommy, Big Dub Wirtz, is going to be here from 5:30 to 7 because the Brewers are hosting the Cardinals tonight at 7:10. Day off yesterday, so we could all rejoice in the Packers. But now we get to turn our attention back to the Major League leading, the best team in Major League Baseball, our Milwaukee Brewers.
For now.
What?
I don't know. I'm
What do you mean
scared.
for now.
I'm
There's
officially scared.
That's all there is for now.
Yeah.
There's no other categories.
All right. Well, I'm just telling you for now.
Like I can't tell you like who the best team in Major League Baseball is a week from now.
What about since the July 7th date? You could say Brewers.
Okay.
Since May 25th, you could say Brewers.
Okay.
Since September 1st, it's probably not Brewers. So I'm scared. I'm just getting worried. I'm getting nervous.
No, I think you're right. That since September 1st, the Brewers are 4-5. So they're probably not the best team in baseball over the last 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, they have the opportunity to get back there. And
correct.
And it starts tonight, Tommy.
I hope.
You know who was the best in the world last night?
Who's that?
2nd and 6. Good protection. Pass wide open. Making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line. So Kraft gets a first down and then gets a huge play here for 57 yards to the Washington 20.
I mean, just an absolute stud. Tucker Kraft. Unbelievable. So much fun to watch. Just like
from the 8 to the outside. Wide open touchdown. Tucker Kraft. Lambeau lead. And it's a 2-possession game again.
I got to be honest. After Tucker Kraft has had the game he's had in the 4th quarter, you might want to cover him. Am I wrong? Like, wouldn't you want to play defense against the guy who's already over 100 yards and has already torn you up all night long? Like, what did that mean? I don't know logic. I don't know smarts. Like, I'm dumb. But wouldn't that make sense to cover that guy?
I agree.
Well, like, what are we doing here?
I am I'm ready to say some crazy takes about Tucker Kraft, I think, too. Eventually. He's getting me really excited for this season.
As he should. Hold your tongue for just 1 second, because I did put up the question on my Facebook pages about who where is I like if I could
I just
work,
love that
if I could
once
work
a day
media,
old man Mitch comes out on the radio.
Well,
once a day.
The issue there is that like every day I put up questions on my Facebook page. So then when I click that, like somebody commented on my post, I assume they're commenting on the most recent one.
Yeah.
But it's not always that. Like somebody just commented on who will the MVP of the game be tonight on yesterday's post. What are you commenting on?
Were they all over it at least?
Right. Like, what are you commenting on the day after for? Like, that's not on me. That's on them. I didn't comment on an old post. Who is your player of the game for the Packers last night? That's what I put up on Facebook, both at Thunder MKE and at Mitch Nellis. And as you can imagine, Joseph has Kraft, a different Joe. That's Big Joe and Stoughton. He's got Kraft. And then Bill writes in Tucker Kraft with an assist from Jordan Love, Keyshawn Nixon with an assist from the pass rush. I actually have, I don't know. Do I want to go there? Do I want to keep it in my back pocket, or do I not even want to talk about it at all? Tommy, why don't you tell me a little bit about your admiration for Mr. Kraft?
Well, I have this thought with Tucker Kraft that he is pretty much going to be George Kittle. Like, that's where my comparison goes to immediately with Tucker Kraft.
Yep.
He is physical, aggressive, high personality type guy, has some vertical, maybe not quite the vertical threat ability.
You're going to make me nervous about injuries, though. If
George
you compare him
Kittle
to George Kittle
has, but George Kittle, it always feels like his athleticism gets overlooked because he was playing at the same time as Travis Kelce when he was in his prime, right? But Tucker Kraft has such a good blend of receiving ability and blocking ability that I think comparing him to George Kittle is really not that far of a take. And talking about the complete tight end position where you need to be expected to block like a serviceable tackle and catch like a serviceable wide receiver, I feel like George Kittle embodies that the most in the NFL when he is healthy.
Yep.
And I am starting to think that about Tucker Kraft.
Man, George Kittle, an absolute stud. If you start with his second year in the league in 2018, 88 catches, 85, down to 48 in only 8 games, 71, 60, 65, 78 last year. Just an absolute machine from the tight
78
end.
grabs, how many yards?
1,100 receiving yards.
Okay, I could see 78 for 900 for Kraft.
Right, because as you mentioned, Kittle's more of a vertical threat. And so him averaging 14, you could see Kraft more averaging like 12.
Yeah, and Kraft, I mean, he did average 20 yesterday, like 6 for 124.
Well, when you get a 57-yarder, that skews things, but in a good way.
I think that George Kittle comparisons to Tucker Kraft is not that far off.
I don't think it's crazy.
And I'm going to say that he will get 70 catches this year and 850 yards all day.
Through 2 weeks, I'd say it doesn't feel like you're going out on a limb. I think we saw last year that things got a little weird, right? With the wide receivers, with the drops, with the injuries. But absolutely, if Kraft can stay healthy and this team keeps humming the way it is, he should absolutely be in that conversation for top tight end. With Kittle now hurt, I mean, I think people fell in love last year with Trey McBride from Arizona.
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers for sure. But so Trey McBride had huge offensive numbers, but is really a wide receiver playing tight end.
He also didn't score touchdowns. Remember, it took him all the way to like the last game of the year or whatever it was.
And so while he kind of became that darling last year, Tucker Kraft is putting himself in the conversation for best tight end in the NFC. Like I think he's entering that conversation. I don't think he's there yet. Would you take him or Dallas Goedert?
I was just going to ask about Hawkinson. I think I would take him over Hawkinson. Dallas Goedert. I think before this year I would have said Kraft, and during this year I want to watch it because I think
Goddard had a great week 1.
Yeah, I think he will
and he's really good.
Yeah,
he is really good,
especially if they can't. I do expect AJ Brown to ramp it up, obviously, compared to his
Zach
one
Ertz,
catch.
Zach Ertz was also really good last night, and we didn't even mention Sam Laporta, who's like there's some good tight ends in the NFC.
The George Kittle comparison also comes from the personality and leadership ability I can see out of Tucker Kraft. It is not just necessarily the lead by example from how you play on the football field, but he's a guy that they want to talk to after the games. He's got a personality. He's got a drive. He talks very highly of his teammates. His teammates talk very highly of him. I see the comparison of locker room guy and football guy of George Kittle when I look at Tucker Kraft.
When you look at the tight ends in the league, Brock Bowers had 103 yards in week 1. Sam Laporta had 79. Jawan Johnson had 76 for New Orleans. They're a mess. Tyler Warren, rookie for the Colts, had 76. And then Tucker Kraft is averaging 70. So he, is that right? Yeah. No, that can't be right. What did Tucker Kraft do in week 1?
It wasn't that crazy. Yeah. Right, if he's averaging 70. That's like 25 yards.
What did he have last night?
120.
Okay, so he only had 20 yards in the first. Because they spread the ball around so much.
To get to 850 yards, he needs 50 yards a game.
Yeah, and through 2, he's averaging 70. So I'll take that. Hunter Henry.
Give me Kraft.
Yeah, then Trey McBride did catch 9 for 60 or 6 for 61 in week 1. Yeah, I mean, I think Kraft is in this conversation, absolutely. And as I go back to my Facebook page, and let's see if I can do it right this time, as I put up, who was your player of the game last night? Brian says Nixon. Jill says Tucker Kraft. Moish writes in quarters 2 through 4, Kraft. Quarter 1, Lattimore. That's good. That's good.
Nice.
He had a rough night.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
He that was rough. And then of course Big Joe from Stoughton again chiming in.
What do you think of the cop-out answer of like a Matt LaFleur or a Jeff Hafley in that sentence?
That's never that's not answering the question.
Okay. All right.
Like,
Just wondering.
So the question I asked is, who is your player of the game?
Got it.
And I'm very like MVP is most valuable player.
Yeah.
Like I didn't say most influential individual.
Right.
MII might be somebody totally different. I would actually argue the MII last night was Goody because he got Parsons. Like it's all like I feel like MII is going
to be every week.
I know that's what I'm going to say. Is that I think Goody is the MII of this team for the rest of the year. By the way, can I coin that? Most influential individual. The MII of the game. I'm gonna hold on.
Sounds
I gotta
like
write that
the
down.
Pledge of Allegiance.
How does that sound? I feel like it more sounds like a Mission Impossible.
Indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Individual.
Yeah.
Impactful.
MII. Most influential individual. That's what I'm going with. And that you can answer LaFleur, Hafley, Goody, Mark Murphy, Andy North. Let's see, Wayne Larrivee.
Okay. Right.
Snoop Dogg.
Sure.
Could be, whoever, Chris Gizzy.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, Chris Gizzy, like he's got to be on that list
every day.
Right?
Chris Gizzy on that list,
but especially yesterday.
Yes,
especially yesterday.
I think that we need to see the Green Bay Packers do this against the bad teams now, Mitch. Right? Yep. Like, so that's what's up next. It's Cleveland, right? Which, yep. I mean, based on what we saw the first 2 weeks, like pray for Joe Flacco, right? I mean, I don't know how Joe Flacco's mobility is going to play into how Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt all can get after the quarterback. But it's the next 2 weeks against Cleveland and against Dallas. Like, these are two teams that on paper before this season, probably Green Bay better than, and now the addition of Micah Parsons miles ahead of, you would think.
Miles ahead of Cleveland. I'm interested to see, because I do believe that there's a thought that Dallas's offense is pretty good. And so I'm interested to see with CeeDee Lamb, with George Pickens, with Barry's grandson, Ferguson. What is that wrong?
No, that was just like it unlocked a core memory of me sitting at the bar with my dad saying like, hey, did you know he's Barry Alvarez's grandson? Because they didn't say it every time he touched the ball.
Every single time when he was a Badger, they touched, absolutely. Micah Parsons after the game last night, I love this too. When he was asked, is this the best defense? Are they the best defense in the NFL?
Best defense in NFL terms, those is earned. It's early to say. The best defense do it consistently. Consistency equals greatness. And, we had a great start, so I'm just happy about that. But we can be a great defense. It's just up to us to continue to push and strive for that.
I mean, like literally every day I fall more in love with Micah Parsons. Like my man crush on Micah Parsons just grows and grows and grows. Could Micah Parsons have said, we've been awesome the first 2 weeks. We've been unbelievable. And he probably believes this, and he's probably said it also. But I love the fact that he leads with humility. He leads with, listen, this is 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks into a season.
Yeah, the unsatisfaction of what we have done already, or what the Packers have done already. Like, that is what we have been listening to all summer long with the Brewers. And you look at how successful that team has been. Like, you can't help but get excited when you hear the same tone and the same mindset out of the Green Bay Packers.
And you talked about that, right? Was it during Packaday, or was it during Mason Crosby, about like how like Micah Parsons sounds like Pat Murphy?
Yes,
yes. Like he's just like, we got work to do. Like we're playing really well, but like you earn that moniker of being the best defense.
Right.
You don't earn it after 2 weeks. You earn it by doing it week in and week out. And we're just getting started. Matt LaFleur also talked about the defense.
Relentless. Just physical, aggressive, attacking. The play style is exactly what we want from these guys, and it always starts with the energy and effort. That's gonna get you through and can overcome for some of the mistakes. So I just thought, I think our front is extremely disruptive, getting after the quarterback. It didn't seem like they ran the ball very effectively at all either. So
true story.
I think Half's done a hell of a job. I think our players are doing a great job feeding off one another, and it's definitely exciting to watch our defense go out there and perform, because I think they allow us to get up on somebody.
Tommy, where were you when you heard the Micah Parsons news?
Because
Charlie and I were doing Sparky show. Sparky was in lacrosse.
I was at home, remember? Because I then came back.
Oh, right, because you came in. We did an extra hour.
Yep. It was the Brewers were they had a day game that day.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh sweet,
right, because Yelich was up at the time.
Yep.
All right. So with that said, I'm gonna do something weird, and especially on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, this is for you. Tommy, I want you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes for 1 second. Pretend you are Jeff Hafley.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that the team is negotiating for Micah Parsons, but you don't really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you find out that to last year's 5th ranked or 8th ranked, let's say 8th ranked defense.
Okay.
You are adding Micah Parsons.
Oh.
What goes through your head immediately when you find out you're Jeff Hafley and Micah Parsons is coming to Green Bay?
I mean, it's more of like, no way. Like,
right.
Stop. Right. Like you're lying. Right. I mean, that's.
And then how soon after that do the creative juices start flowing?
I just think that what we saw out of Micah yesterday, while he only had the half a sack, but he was just in on every play. And on top of it, he was all over the field, right?
Yeah.
You lined him up wherever you wanted to. And I love Cheetah Package. Gosh, yep. I just love Cheetah Package so much for Green Bay. And Micah Parsons
I have a podcast comment to make right now that I can't make on the radio.
Just the ability for Jeff Hafley, who is now probably going to, by the end of the season, consider himself one of the top head coaching candidates in the NFL, that he now has the luxury of already a good defense, adding one of the top, conservatively 10 best defensive players in the league onto his team. Like, no, we should have seen this coming. Why did we not see this coming? We didn't expect it to be this successful this quickly, but it also looks sustainable, Mitch. And that's the part that gets me the most excited.
Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right. And I think we're just seeing the cusp of what's to come. I can't wait for the game where every hold gets called. Where like the refs are just like, we're calling holding on both teams. And like, yeah, the Packers get called for whatever holding calls they get called for. But like Micah Parsons creates 4 holding penalties in the first half. And like the other team has to completely change their game plan on offense because of the holding calls. I just there will be one game like that. I think for the most part, as we've seen, holding's you're just not going to call it every time. Right. But there's going to be that one game, right? Don't you think there'll be that one game where the refs are like, we're calling holding this game, and or one ref is like, I'm calling holding this game, and they just call holding. I believe it. I think there will be one game.
It's not going to be at a disadvantage for Green Bay if that situation does come up.
Totally agree. Cannot wait for that. Remember, Sparky's at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward today from 2 to 5:30. Tommy will be there from 5:30 to 7 with the leadoff show. That's brought to you by Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Yum. That's delicious. I'm going to get a Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea today. I've already made my decision. Like, I've been talking a lot this week. My throat's a little, I just feel like that's like a night, that's a good, cool drink going down the gullet.
Only 100 calories and 4.5% too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like
easy sipper.
Yeah. Easy sipper. My problem is I'm going to drink it a little too fast because it's really yummy and it's cold.
No bubbles either.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. That's good stuff right there. This is Middays with Thunder, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. We're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, As always, I invite you to become a member of the family. Just chime in on the comment section, just a name and where you're from. If you want to, we like to do a roll call here. So feel free to roll call on the YouTube channel, name and where you're from. You can do that on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line as well. We took a whole bunch of predictions for your scores on the talk and text line. We got through a bunch of them yesterday. I'm trying not to look. I'm looking back through it yesterday. I don't think anybody picked the Commanders to win.
The 2-point conversion kind of messes everything up.
Yeah,
on score
so nobody's going to get it.
Like,
If McManus misses that field goal, that 56-yarder,
yeah,
I have a good chance of hitting my score because I had 24-17.
right.
And it's 24-10 when he kicked that. If he missed that and Washington takes over at midfield, they score a touchdown. It's 24-17.
I don't know if
saying.
I don't know if McManus gets the love he deserves too, but just how awesome is he? Did you hear? I made this take on the Green Bay football postgame show with Sparky yesterday.
Okay.
Is it a possibility that Daniel Whalen is too good at is too good at punting?
Sure.
Because
he blasts it too much.
It's just like there's so much space because he's just booting it so far every time.
Well,
maybe it makes up for it. If it was a worse punt, they would be there and there wouldn't be a return. But there is something to be said about he just can't stop hitting bombs every time.
I think what they need to work on with him maybe a little bit is launch angle. When we talk, is just a little bit higher and not and like if you're bombing 57-yard pumps, kick it 50, kick it a tiny bit higher because you do that and your coverage team has time to get down there. So I'm sure as much as we talk about punting and we are punting experts on Middays with Thunder, I'm sure they're talking about that internally. Like Daniel Wheel, a punter has nothing to do all week. So you work on your craft. Like there's nothing else. You're not doing anything else all week.
You work on your Tucker craft?
Yeah. Or you're working on your 250-yard drives on the golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? So do you think he ever just he'll slice a drive and be like, man, I can kick it farther than I just hit it. And he'll just drop kick a golf ball and it goes 200 yards.
I was assuming that all specialists just use their feet when they play golf.
Yeah. Right. I would,
judging on Crosby's latest
sure.
scores, he probably should have just kicked it a couple of times.
Some news from the NFL. How important have we learned from Mason is Human Tuesday? To your mental health, to getting that.
Yeah, Human Tuesday, big deal.
How about the Miami Dolphins having a players only meeting on Tuesday after 1 week?
Yeah, that
is a mess.
That's more humans can't even fix that. Feels like if it's 1 weekend.
We're going to talk a little bit about Jayden Reed coming up, and new odds are out. I heard Tommy talking about this a little bit earlier today. I want to go through some of those new odds in the NFC North and the NFC and how that has changed our expectations for our Green Bay Packers as well. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. 414-677-1250. How does Jayden Reed's injury change the wide receiver room? Would love to hear from you what you think it will happen with the wide receiver room. Who will step up? Who will show out? Who has a real opportunity now? Is there somebody you're watching specifically? I know before the season started, we were all watching number 0. Well, 2 weeks in, number 0 hasn't done much. Could have hit a home run last night. That was close. That was real close. We're live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. I'm Mitch Nellis. This is Middays with Thunder on The Fan. This is Middays with Thunder here on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. The Packers did not have a players-only meeting last night. They had a players-only beatdown of the Washington Commanders.
I mean, to be fair, MLF outcoached Dan Quinn by
severely.
just so much. I mean,
I
Cliff
don't know what Quinn
Kingsbury
could have done, though.
Cliff, you cannot wear that tight of shirts and only score 18 points. Did you see that? I was like, I told you
And
he was
it
going to
was a
wear
bogus touchdown at the end, too.
Right.
I mean, they scored 10.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
You did call that he was going to wear a shirt too
tight
tight for him.
Shirt. That was a tight shirt on Cliff.
I think another advantage to Micah Parsons and the Packers is also, and this is going to be a challenge later in the year. I think on some level they caught Detroit and Washington by surprise. I don't think Detroit and Washington knew they'd be this good. I don't think, and yes, you should be prepared for your opponent. You should be ready for the game that you're playing in this week. But I don't think either Detroit or Washington were accurately and readily prepared to face how good this defense is this year.
No.
But that does worry me that later on in the season, those last 7 games, right? When they play Detroit, Minnesota twice, Chicago twice, Denver and Baltimore,
right?
That those teams are going to be facing that's 7 games. They're going to be facing an 8-2 Packers team that the nation loves. The nation falls in love with the Packers. The Packers are 8-2 going into those last 7 games, and those teams are ready for the challenge. And that doesn't mean they win, because the Packers still might be better than them. The Packers still should beat the Bears both of those games easy. The Packers should still at least split with Minnesota in those games. And I don't know what happens in Detroit, but I think it does concern me a little bit then, but I'm more than willing to take advantage of it now. I do think Detroit and Washington were not ready for the storm that is this Packers defense.
Well, that's because you can only see so much. You can only see what the Packers are doing on defense. You can only see what they are doing on offense. But when you go up and you feel Micah Parsons hit you in the mouth, and you see what Rashawn Gary can do with his hands when he gets them on you right now, like, that's different. That's different right now. And that's why when I use the word different to describe this defense, it is because you throw this, like, you have to have a game plan. You have to have a scheme, obviously. But you saw now 2 weeks in a row, it can be completely thrown out the window because of how the Packers hit you in the mouth when they come out on the defensive side.
No doubt about it. And I think the other thing about that is they game planned for Micah Parsons. They didn't know they needed to game plan for Rashawn Gary and LVN. They prepared for this game. The Detroit Lions did and the Commanders did, as if they were LVN and Rashawn Gary from last year.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No.
They're not. And part of it is Micah Parsons. But I think even before Micah got here, especially LVN, specifically LVN, because I think Rashawn Gary would have basically been the same Rashawn Gary without Micah Parsons. I don't know that I would have expected much more. But we'd been hearing all through training camp that LVN is finally here, that he's finally arrived. I still don't think he's as explosive or as energetic as he's been the first 2 weeks without Micah Parsons, but he would have been better. But what those two players are with Micah Parsons, it is a different animal out there on the field for our Green Bay Packers.
Completely agree with you, Mitch.
All right. I want to switch over to the offense real quick, and I want to talk about the wide receiver room because we know Jaden Reed got hurt. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. I know, Tommy, you think he's out maybe till Thanksgiving, which would mean they're being a little extra cautious with him, which wouldn't bother me.
I pointed to November 23rd as the next division game. The next division game,
right.
Jaden Reed's back.
And that's the week before Thanksgiving, right?
It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, yes.
And that's against the Vikings. Okay.
So that's what I'm looking at is Jaden Reed plays the first game back against Minnesota.
Yeah, it's it's tough. Anytime somebody gets injured during the game, it's tough. So I don't know how long his timeline will be and how long he'll be out. But like I said, we got other guys that can step up and make big time plays. But like I said, that right there was a huge play, and that's what Jay Reed does for our offense. Is he's that another big play guy we got. So you know, it's tough. It sucks. And, you know, we'll see what the timeline is for him, try and get him back.
That's Jordan Love, of course, on Jaden Reed. That was an awesome throw and an awesome catch. And it sucked that it was a penalty by Belton on that. It was a penalty. I wasn't watching the game yet. I was at a meeting last night, as I talked about yesterday. Should I go to this meeting or should I not know what's going on? I was following the game on my phone, every single play. So I texted you and Mason right away. I was like, was the holding legit? And you guys were like, yeah, it was legit. But it was also an amazing catch. It just like kind of stinks that on that play, he lands on his shoulder and that's how it goes. So who steps up? 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. How do you expect the the wide receiver room to shake out for this Green Bay Packers with Jaden Reed? You know, as the season started, Reed, Dobbs, who my 12-year-old calls him Doobs. I mean, it's spelled Doobs, so that's like a fun nickname. Hey, Doobs. Hey, Doobie. So Reed, Dobbs, and Golden were listed as the 3 number ones. Obviously, that's going to change now. The obvious answer is that Wicks just slides into that 1 for now. But in your hierarchy of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not that there's 3 1s, where was Jaden Reed? And how does this affect the rest of the wide receiver room?
Is this just wide receivers?
Yeah, just wide receivers.
Otherwise, Kraft's 1.
Right. You know what? Throw Kraft in there.
Okay, Kraft's 1.
You know what? You can throw Musgrave in there too. Kraft is 1.
I wouldn't throw him in there because he would fall down if I put him on the list. I mean, you know, I gotta get my shade.
Drinking some haterade, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you be the guess on his first catch of the game. Did he fall down or did he get tackled?
No, he fell down.
Yeah, he fell down. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I will say that Tucker Kraft is number 1. I think by default right now, Dobbs is number 2 with the wide receiver position.
Okay.
Number 3, I think, is Dontavian Wicks. He's just been his hands have been a lot more sure to start the first 2 weeks of the year. And yesterday, even on that first drive, which they were moving the ball very well, they went to Dontavian Wicks on 3rd down to pick up a first down. And then immediately after did the exact same route, just on the other side of the field. And it worked again to perfection. Just a little out route towards the sideline. It got him the first down on 3rd down. And then they went right back to it again after. I think that Dontavian Wicks, he's got some potential to show some growth here. And his role has now turned out to be like safety nets, right? And just check down, you know, no big plays necessary, get some separation. He does a great job of that. All of the advanced stats all say how great he is at just getting open. Specifically, it was, hey, make sure those hands are shored up and you can be a part of this team. And he's proved it through 2 weeks now. I think those are your top 3 options just as of right now. I don't think that's what it will be at the end of the season. I think both probably Dobbs and Wicks.
Well, you didn't mention Golden, and obviously by the end of the season, you're also talking about Reed and Watson.
Right.
Are all going to be in that room.
So I think that Matthew Golden is still, this is what I was talking about when we were bringing up this take before the season, is just it takes a little bit for rookies to get acclimated to the NFL at the wide receiver position. It just does. And usually there is a guy in the middle of the year. Last year, it was Brian Thomas Jr., right, who really just breaks out and stands out. And the year before, Malik Neighbors as well last season too. It just takes a little bit to get things going once you get into, after the bye week. Like, let's wait till the bye week before you draw any sort of conclusions on what Matthew Golden is this season specifically, because you'll play 2 more games here now against Cleveland and Dallas. Then you have the bye week. Week 6, look for Matthew Golden. That's when I think things still start to ramp up for the Green Bay Packers, and maybe even Savion Williams at that time too. They've already started to implement him and get the ball in his hands in a couple of different creative ways now. I think that by week 6, you'll really start to see Williams and Golden start to acclimate to this offense.
He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Jaden Reed is out 6 to 8 weeks. How does this change the wide receiver room in your mind? 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 414-677-1250. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee and at Thunder MKE on both Facebook and Twitter. And you can also Tweet at Tommy WSSP. Listen online at thefanmilwaukee.com. And find us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. We are live and local on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. My name's Mitch Nellis. This is 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan. You're listening to Middays with Thunder on The Fan. 19 for 31, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love had a nice game last night for our Green Bay Packers as the Green Bay Packers take care of Washington. Final 27-18, but it was 27-10. Just like Detroit the week before, the opponent scores a late kind of meaningless touchdown. We're talking about the wide receiver room. And I know he's not really going to be in this conversation because he is the lowest guy on the chart. What a catch by Malik Heath last night. Like, how did he keep those? I mean, watching it live, I absolutely turned to Big Rumble and I was like, oh, he's out of bounds. Right? He looked out. We all thought he looked out of bounds. And then they replay. Oh, are his feet in? Are his feet in bounds? Wait a minute. He's in bounds. That's a catch. And then Matt LaFleur, for the first time in his entire career, made a challenge that made sense. Because usually he challenges the most egregious, terrible
challenger of all time.
He is the most emotional challenger in the history of the NFL. Every challenge is out of emotion.
With the most angles of any sport, probably, to tell if something happened or didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. So great to see that play was reviewed and quick. Hey, that was a quick one too. They got it right away, which was great. Yeah, which they knew. Sometimes they know, and it still takes them another extra 30, 45 seconds. They got that one right away. That was a nice job. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Orts with you. Middays with Thunder here on The Fan. Having a blast. It's lunchtime. We should be eating. What are you eating, Tommy? Not right now, but in general. What are you having for lunch today?
No idea.
Yeah, same. I grabbed a Dunkin' sandwich on my way in, and then I'll figure out. The question is, so we did hibachi 2 days ago. Do I steal Little Rumble's leftovers for like lunch today, or do I have to? I can't. Like, she's gonna be mad. I gotta.
It's the cost of being alive because of you. So
she is alive because of me. That is a point.
It's called dad tax.
I'm all about that. I dad tax. Dude, the amount of Nerds gummy clusters that I dad tax, don't even get me started. 414. By the way, Nerds gummy clusters might be the GOAT. Fight me. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan talk and text line with Jaden Reed out. How does this change the wide receiver room in your mind? Q is in Milwaukee. Good friend of the show. Q, how are you, my friend?
Good. You know what? You sound so much cooler with the buffer music. I wish I had better service so I could hear the buffer music because I'm always on YouTube. I know.
And we love that you're on YouTube, and tell your friends that they should join you on YouTube. I feel like one day Earth will figure out like the legalities of music and YouTube and whatever that might be. We just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, hopefully.
But hopefully.
But you sound good without it anyways.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. What do you got for us today, Q?
So 2-0. Like half tongue in cheek, half serious. I don't know if this team's ever going to lose again. This
Amen,
is
brother.
amazing.
Amen, brother. Let's go.
This is unbelievable. And I was a little nervous about the offense after that first drive because it feels like Matt LaFleur, his offense, like, is somewhat predicated by that first drive, like the success of the game. Like if we don't score, like sometimes it just stalls out and doesn't come back. So it was awesome to come back and get some points on the board right after that. But to your question on what's going to happen with this Reed injury, obviously like an amazing player. It sounds like he'll be back between 8 and 12 weeks from now. So this is a short-term problem, hopefully, knock on wood.
Yep, knock on skull. I'm knocking on my brain right now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be a bit of a blessing in disguise because we will have to rely on the younger guys sooner and more often. Like, and then the other thing is, with or without Reed, it felt like this offense was one player away. So if this pushes Goody and the powers that be to actually make a trade for like what I would consider a true number one and actually push all our chips in, that would be an amazing outcome.
So that would be something, Q. And I guess my devil's advocate to that is going to be they want to see what they have in Christian Watson. They want to see, because Christian Watson, by all accounts, is going to miss his 4 weeks, and then he's going to be ready to play. Like he is way ahead of schedule. And I think they want to see what Christian Watson looks like in this offense. as that really burner guy to put on if he's on the outside and Golden's running burner routes on the from the slot. Like, they've got two world-class athletes with that type of speed. I don't know that a number one receiver is what they're going to be looking for, because again, they think Matthew Golden can develop into that, and they think what Christian Watson will be able to bring to this team will make big enough of a difference.
I hope you're right. And like, I think the fact that they extended Watson this week, they must be really liking what they're seeing, and they're afraid that he would become like a $25 million receiver at the year's end because he looks so good in practice right now. But personally, like, I've actually had a few ACL tears. I'm not a stud receiver like Christian Watson, obviously, but it takes a while to get back, even for those top level athletes. So I don't know. I really, it feels like our year, and I hope that Ed Policy and Goody go out there and get a true weapon for
I think
Love in year 3.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's this year. I think they did that in the draft. They got Golden, they got Savion Williams, Christian Watson's coming back. I don't think they're going to go out mid-season and make any type of changes, especially if this team's playing as well as we think it's going to play. Right? I think they're going to fall in love with this team, and we'll see what happens with the guys whose contracts are coming up at the end of this year. But I think this is the wide receiver room, and remembering that Watson and Reed are not in that wide receiver room today. Q, thanks for the call, my friend.
Good. And just last thing,
yeah.
Tucker Kraft, first 100-yard game, pretty amazing. Hopefully he keeps that up, and maybe he's the missing piece that the offense needs.
Yeah, I mean, he is absolutely a stud, and if he can be 100-yard type guy, maybe not every game, but regularly, he could fill that role as well. Q, thanks for the call.
Have a great weekend, guys. See ya.
You as well. Have a great weekend. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. 414-677-1250. The Nikolai Law fan talk and text line. We know Jaden Reed with a broken collarbone on that fantastic touchdown catch that was called back last night. An absolutely great catch that he made. I want to remind everybody, Mikey Henninger is coming up next. He's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes. He is a fantasy football expert. He's got a website, basementbroodff.com, basementbroodff.com. So we'll hear a little bit of his story, and we'll get some fantasy top rankings, and you'll have an opportunity to text in or call in with your questions about who should start and who should sit and all those fun things. I got Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray. What do I do? What do I do there? Like, I don't know. Like, I started Dak Prescott in week 1. That did not work out well for me. I like Kyler Murray better, and I'd rather cheer for Kyler Murray. And I think he could be really good. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So I'm going to ask Mikey Henninger that. JOCKO, Mike Jacques from WMTV Music Television. No, I'm just kidding. WMTV in Madison. He's going to join us at 1:00. He was at the Packers game last night. He's also in the Badgers locker room day in and day out. So we're going to preview Badgers, Alabama. It's going to be Tommy's favorite segment of the week. He's just going to paint his face red for that one. Not crimson, but red, cardinal red for our Badgers. So we've got a lot coming up. After Mikey Henninger, we're going to make some week 2 NFL picks. I have my picks from last week. I didn't do great, but I didn't do terribly against the spread. Last week, I think, did I do that with you, Tommy, last week, or did I do that with Charlie?
For what?
For week 1 picks?
We did against the spread. I don't think I wrote them down.
Okay.
No, I think
I wrote down mine.
Okay. All right.
So
we were in pretty lockstep, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. For the most part.
I was just hating on the Chargers, remember?
Yeah. No, and I also picked the Chiefs, and that did not work out well for either of us. And then, of course, we'll talk a little Brewers. Brewers at home tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Quinn Priester, who, and I'm going to say this a bunch of times the rest of the show, the Brewers have won each of the last 17 games that Quinn Priester has pitched in. 14 starts, 13, 3 games where he's had an opener and then come in. Each of the last 17 games, he's 12-2 with a 3.25 ERA. He's pitching today against a guy I've never heard of, and he's pitched all year for St. Louis, so I feel like I should have. Andre Payante, who's 6-13 with a 5.28 ERA. That's tonight at 7:10. The Brewers' night game tomorrow night, 7:15 on Fox. And then Sunday, of course, 1:10. Woody's tomorrow night. Miz is on Sunday. So good day, good slate of pitchers at AmFam Field this weekend. Priester, Woody, and Miz coming up this weekend for our crew against the St. Louis Cardinals. I think Kraft is the number one target for Jordan Love, and I think that's true whether Jaden Reed got hurt or not. I think Kraft is developing into that. I think, and maybe this is after the bye, but I think this really gives Matthew Golden a chance to explode. And I know they missed the deep ball last night, but they hit that deep ball, and it's what, a 96-yard touchdown? I mean, if he hits it really in stride, or if at least he gets it to him, it's a 50-yard bomb. I think we're going to see over the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to see one of those bombs complete to Matthew Golden. I think we're going to see quick slants over the middle where he just leaves guys, like breaks some ankles, leaves guys with their shoes stuck in the turf. I think we're going to see special out of Matthew Golden. Maybe not right away, maybe not a week from Sunday, maybe not before the bye. But I think by the time Christian Watson gets back, and by the time this offense really settles into Jaden Reed not being there, I think we're going to see some special from Matthew Golden. We all believe it's in there. And like Tommy said, like sometimes it takes rookies a few weeks to get comfortable doing that. But I think we will see that from Matthew Golden. We're going to be talking fantasy football with Mikey Henninger coming up next. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. It's Middays with Thunder on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app, free on the iHeart app. And, of course, we are live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. It's Middays with Thunder. This is Middays with Thunder, 1250 AM, 1057 FM, The Fan. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Remember, join Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the road today. He's at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward this afternoon from 2 to 5:30. That's brought to you by Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, right here on 1250 AM and 1057 FM, The Fan. He'll be there from 2 to 5:30. Tommy with the leadoff show will be there from 5:30 to 7, and then we can all watch the Brewers just destroy the St. Louis Cardinals and get back to their winning ways. Joining me now on Middays with Thunder, he's on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Brood fantasy football guru, Basement Brood Fantasy Football, basementbroodff.com. Mikey Henninger is on the show. Mikey, how you doing, man?
Thunder, man, this is probably the best possible way to spend a Friday afternoon. I'm doing good, man. We're coming off a Packers win. How are you doing?
I mean, it is party time. It is awesome. It is, we're celebrating. We're sad for Jaden Reed, of course.
Yeah.
And we take no joy in Austin Eckler. But because you never want to see a guy hurt like that. Like, you want to win the game, but you don't want your opponent to get hurt. But beyond that, to look this dominant against two playoff teams, everything has gone better than script for our Packers so far.
Man, they look terrific, and I don't want to get too crazy with saying anything
Same.
But I mean, they're looking pretty good. And I do got to tell you about Austin Eckler, by the way, Thunder. I actually had him on my YouTube show about 3 weeks ago.
Really?
One of the greatest
Is
guys.
this the curse of Mikey? Is this the curse of Mikey? Is this the curse?
Don't say that. Don't put that kind of juju on me. I got to tell you, though, yesterday, man, I'm sitting on the couch, and I felt like one of my best friends had just gotten hurt because he was one of the nicest guys, high energy, great to have on the show. It was devastating to see him to go down like that.
Yeah, that was as Bucks fans, we saw with Dame Lillard and obviously with Jason Tatum and Ty Halliburton. Like, you never want to see that. Even the team you're cheering against, or even the team you're playing against, you don't want to see an injury like that.
No.
So welcome to the show. Would love to hear, a little bit about how you got as into fantasy football as you are. I know I've been a subscriber to your newsletter for a couple seasons now, and I love the tidbits and the notes you drop. How'd you get into the fantasy football universe?
Oh, man, I don't even know. It depends how far back you want me to go. I could go back to 8 years old if you want, man.
Well, your 8 years old is probably my high school years, so it's probably about the same time. I remember getting the newspaper right on Monday and getting all the stats that way before the internet even was really a thing.
Yeah, man, I've been obsessed with the NFL. I've been obsessed with football since probably 7, 8 years old. I used to play a game. I invented a game where I took I don't know if you remember those NFL pencils, but I used to take them and twirl them in my hands and drop one, and whoever I was holding still in my hand was the winning team.
I love it. That's amazing.
I've been obsessed.
As an only child, I played games like that all the time, so I have a lot of respect for that type of creativity.
Yeah, man. So fantasy football I was introduced to in about 2016, 2017, and the obsession was just born pretty much instantly. And several years ago, I was creating a weekly resource for myself in those difficult start-sit decisions that I used to call the heat map. And a buddy of mine convinced me to start putting it on Reddit, which I almost didn't do. I don't know if you've ever been on Reddit. There's a lot of unhappy human beings over there, man.
Yeah, yes, there are. Yes, there are. Not just Reddit, throughout the internet, as we know.
True. But yeah, man, I started posting it there, and it got to a point where I had complete strangers sliding into my DMs asking me for my Venmo so that they could donate money for me to keep posting this resource. I'm like, all right.
I love that.
Hold on, man. If there are complete strangers trying to donate money I'm not even asking for, then there might be something here. So March of 2022, I quit the corporate career and dove all in 100% Basement Brood fantasy football. And we're getting started on year 4, and it's been a wild ride, man. It's been a roller coaster. It's been awesome.
That is so cool. Well, we're excited to have you here. Follow Mikey on Twitter at BBFFMikey. And he's right there. You can get some of his tips right there. And if you go there, you can figure out how to subscribe to his newsletter and all those sorts of things.
Sure.
And I will say, if people want fantasy advice today, you can start getting those questions in to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. And it's funny because like I've gone back and forth. 'Cause again, I've played fantasy for 30 plus years. I'm probably a few years older than you are. But it's like, there were times where I would have like 6 teams or 8 teams, or I think there were a couple of years there where I had 12 teams. And I think I'm back down to 3 right now, and I'm kind of comfortable with that.
Sure.
But I remember there were years, I don't know if you remember Damon's, like the restaurant Damon's, which was kind of it was a sports bar before sports bars were cool, like where they had 5 screens right in front of you. And I would go there at 11:30. I would sit there until 6:30, and I would have all my fantasy teams like printed out, or I'd probably handwritten, and like just like watch all the games, just like loving. I mean, fantasy football is like as much as I think some people think it's kind of got up and down and up and down. It is. I mean, it is still one of those things that is absolutely overarching in our community.
Oh yeah, man. I got it written down on my whiteboard right next to me. There's 84 million Americans and Canadians that play fantasy football, sports betting, DFS, and that number was just 56 million like 3 years ago. So it's like continuing
That's
to explode.
crazy.
Yeah, it's growing in popularity in like the UK and Germany, of course, with all the international games. It's exploding.
Oh, right. That's a good point.
In India, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah,
so when's the first game going to be in Mumbai? Like, I'm sure Goodell's working on it, right?
That might as well get one in every country, it seems like.
Absolutely. So as week 1's done, and I know week 2 has started. The Packers did play last night, as we rejoiced in their victory. But I just kind of like wanted to get a feel for you, like who are guys that as you look at whether there are they've been. I guess my question is like, who are guys that you're keeping an eye on, whether good or bad, that as the season goes on, like a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's been an absolute stud in past years, in my mind is like, it has fallen back to earth. Like, and it's whether it's him or whether it's the Chiefs, whether the way they do things, obviously he was different immediately without Tyreek Hill. But so a guy like that, are there guys out there that the general public still holds in high esteem, but maybe aren't as good as we think they are truly in fantasy?
Well, the first name that popped into my head, and maybe it's because I got that Packers banner behind me and I got Packers memorabilia surrounding me, but the first name that came into mind is Jared Goff. Now
you think the Ben Johnson effect is real?
Ben Johnson effect is very, very real. If you look at Jared Goff's splits before Ben Johnson, I mean, keep in mind, the guy had been around for years and years before Ben Johnson came into the picture. If you look at Jared Goff's statistical splits before Ben Johnson versus when Ben Johnson came, it's night and day. He was in fantasy football. He was just a mid-range QB2, occasional bye week streamer. And these days, coming into 2024, 2025, people are drafting him as a top 10, top 12 fantasy football option, and that's just not the case. And I think we saw that in week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. Now, Micah Parsons.
It's a little different, right? Yep.
But, I mean, and we'll see this week, right? He's got Ben Johnson's coming back into Detroit to play the Chicago Bears. We'll see how things go. But Jared Goff is one of those guys that should take a step back this year. Big time.
Got it. Any other position players, any running backs or wide receivers come to mind for you that, that's like, man, this guy's always been, but maybe Father Time has caught up to them or that sort of thing, as we see. I mean, and another name, I mean, I throw out Patrick Mahomes. I'll throw Travis Kelce also. Like, is Kelce a guy that Father Time is catching up to?
Well, Travis Kelce, unfortunately, the red flags are very real for Travis Kelce. If you look at all of his efficiency metrics, I mean, it's the sort of thing where Father Time is definitely catching up. It's easy to say that, defenses are scheming for Travis Kelce. And in some ways that's true. But if you look at his efficiency metrics, he's that decline has begun for Travis Kelce. And yeah, Mitch, I'll throw a couple more names at you here. And some of them are some pretty gigantic names. Now, this offseason, I actually did a pretty extensive study trying to identify the cliff where running backs go from superhuman to start falling off a cliff a little bit. And what I found is it has less to do with age. Age is actually a byproduct of the larger resume, the larger workload that a running back has taken on in their career. So the guys that I'm talking about, Saquon Barkley,
Mhm.
Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, who didn't even get a chance to start this year.
Right.
So to cut the story super short, all of the research that I did found that running backs that enter the season with 2,000 or more career touches are at a massive risk of not producing the way that you've expected them to produce in the pack. Now,
That's the magic number.
2,000 tends to be the magic number. Now, obviously, guys like Saquon Barkley, he's superhuman. But another study that I did is on running backs who handled 300 or more touches in the prior season compared to how they performed the next season. And Saquon Barkley himself is on that list twice, and the following year was nowhere near as good as the previous year. So I think he is a bit of a red flag in fantasy football this year as well.
Tommy, did you jump on? Did you have something for Mikey?
Yeah, I have
Mikey,
first...
meet Tommy. Tommy, meet Mikey.
Mikey, pleasure.
Mikey, Tommy, Mikey.
I got some flex issues this week.
Yeah, you do.
And I'll be the first guy to break it open here because I'm just conflicted. I hate playing running backs in the flex. I don't know why, but it's just I feel like receivers always do something more, or at least have the big play potential. But I got in my flex here, Jerry Jeudy going up against Baltimore or Tyrone Tracy up against Dallas. And I'm seriously considering those as my options. This is in the league where all I needed was like 4 points out of Hawkinson last week, and he totally poops the bed for me. So I'm in scramble mode after 1 week in this league. But Jeudy versus Tracy this weekend specifically.
Love it, man. I love it. So I love these questions. I actually do a live start sit show at 8 a.m. on YouTube, Basement Brood Fantasy Football, if anybody's interested this coming Sunday. But I'll tell you this one, Tommy. I think you have it right in this scenario in terms of going wide receiver over running back. Now, the thing with Jerry Jeudy, and I was just writing about this in that weekly resource that I was telling you guys that I create. It takes me about 30 hours a week every week. I basically study the matchup for every single player on every single team. So I've done plenty of research on Jerry Jeudy this week, Tyrone Tracy this week. The appeal to Jerry Jeudy in week 2 is that they're going up against the Baltimore Ravens, and when you look at the spread of that game, it's pretty nasty for the Browns. They are 11.5-point road underdogs against the Baltimore Ravens. So touchdown upside, there's not going to be much touchdown upside for Jerry Jeudy. But when you consider volume and you consider the way that the script of this game should go, Joe Flacco is going to throw 40-plus passes, and Jerry Jeudy is going to be a primary beneficiary of that. And by the way,
I feel like he could get 20. I feel like he could get 20 targets if Flacco's throwing that much. Like, who are you throwing to?
Yeah, I mean, he does have weapons, right? He's got David Njoku. Harold Fannin looks like he's basically their wide receiver 3. Cedric Tillman is an underrated receiver, but Jerry Judy's the number 1 guy there, and he is going to get those targets. His matchup against the Ravens is pretty terrific. They just got destroyed by Buffalo wide receivers in week 1. They gave up 20 catches, which was the most in all of football, 240 yards, which was the most in all of football, 1 touchdown. They gave up 50-plus PPR points just to wide receivers last week. And that's not anything new. They gave up last year's Ravens allowed the 6th most catches, 5th most yards, 14th most touchdowns, and the 8th most PPR points per game to wide receivers. So I really like Jerry Jeudy this week, just from a pure volume standpoint. Whereas Tyrone Tracy, he's entering his game as 4.5-point underdogs in Dallas against the Cowboys. So if you think about the script and the way that one might work out, the Giants are at risk of falling behind, playing that game from behind. They theoretically might abandon the run, have to put the ball in the air more. It could be one of those games where Tyrone Tracy gets scripted out of the game plan. I'm going Jerry Jeudy there.
Oh, nice.
I got one more that's pretty topical here in the other league. Trevor Lawrence or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh man, I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. Now Aaron Rodgers He looked vintage.
Mike, that was crazy last week, Mikey.
A-Rod is the bomb.
Dude, Aaron was vintage last week. Now, we're Packer fans, right? So we know what chip on his shoulder Aaron Rodgers is capable of. And I think he had a chip on his shoulder going up against the New York Jets. That chip won't be there here in week 2. I'm not saying he's going to do poorly. Like, he looked dang good in week 1. But, man, you got to consider this Jaguars-Bengals game. This is arguably the shootout of the entire week. It has a 49.5 point over-under. Both teams have projected point totals of 23 or more. The Jaguars are expected to score 23 points. Bengals are expected to score 26 to 27. That game could shoot out. Trevor Lawrence could throw 40-plus passes. The Bengals struggle against quarterbacks. Historically, that defense is no good. Like, if you're looking for pure upside, Trevor Lawrence has plenty of it this week, whereas the Steelers, they're the exact opposite. They're locked into a low-scoring game with the Seahawks, 39.5 point over-under. That's pretty nauseating. Steelers have a implied point total of just 21 points. That we're just not expecting a lot of touchdowns, a lot of fantasy football fireworks out of Seattle versus Pittsburgh, whereas Jacksonville versus Cincinnati, man, that could be the funnest game of the week.
Yeah.
That could be crazy.
I don't know. I might take your advice on Judy. I might fade you on Rodgers.
Oh, we'll see.
I would love to be proven wrong.
That's
but
the beauty of all of this, right? Is that we get to find out together.
How could you not watch that game last week and think, oh, he's back? And now all he needs is one more touchdown to take over Brett Favre's career number. Like,
relax.
I mean,
Tommy,
chip on your shoulder. Rodgers, they're not going to get him two touchdowns next week.
You are being a fan right now. You can't be a fan.
I watched this guy for 15 years.
Be a fan when you're talking about fantasy football. You got to separate your heart from your brain.
Well, look, I'm telling you, I like the logic. I really like the logic on the Judy Tyrone Tracy, but I'm just like Aaron. He's pissed off, and I just think that he was more of so against the Jets. Obviously, we heard it in post game, but. Sure. Like, Aaron's got a history with Seattle, too. Like, hates that organization, obviously.
He hates everybody and everything.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point, too. But I don't know. We'll regroup after, but I'm definitely taking Judy over Tyrone.
Right. I hope for your sake it goes Aaron Rodgers. And I do want to make clear, I'm not saying Rodgers is going to be bad. I just think the upside on Trevor Lawrence here is pretty outstanding.
All right. Mikey Henninger with us. Follow him on Twitter at BBFF Mikey, BBFF Mikey. He is basementbroodff.com, and he is answering your questions now, but he has more than, you have a couple newsletters that go out every week. You do podcasts, you do all sorts. You are creating tons of content there, Mikey.
Oh my God. I got to tell you, man, come Friday, my brain is absolutely fried. I spend 30 plus hours on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday writing, individually typing the matchup for 200 plus players, every quarterback, every running back, every wide receiver, every tight end. It's insane, but that's how this whole business began. So I got to keep with it, right?
All right. I got a question for you. Dak Prescott versus Kyler Murray this week. And this year in general, like, Dak Prescott versus Kyler Murray.
This year, I would lean Kyler Murray. He's always going to bring that rushing floor, that rushing ability, which is nice at quarterback. Now, this week, let me look at my sheet here. We got, who do the Cardinals? Oh, the Panthers. Okay. So the Cardinals have a pretty nice implied point total, about 25.5 points against the Carolina Panthers. You got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They got a pretty nice implied total
against the Giants, right?
Giants. Yeah, I do think that Panthers Cardinals game has some sneaky shootout potential if Bryce Young can get his act together. Now, last week was not pretty, but it is possible that the Cardinals or the Panthers can kind of keep up with the Cardinals. I'm probably going Kyler Murray here. Dallas. Okay. Part of that is because I'm pretty high on Javonte Williams this week for the Cowboys running back. So I think they'll be able to win that game with ground control, holding the Giants, keeping the Giants at bay on defense. Whereas Kyler Murray is going to bring some upside there, although they could win the same way with James Conner. That one's close. I think the Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers thing, the Jerry Jeudy, Tyrone Tracy thing, those ones felt pretty confident, like 70-30. This one feels much more 50-50. But I'm probably going Kyler on this one.
All right, so you mentioned Javonte Williams, and I feel like Javonte Williams is that type of player. We see this every year. He has a big week one, comes out of nowhere, wasn't expecting him to do much, scores a couple of touchdowns. Everybody goes to the waiver wire to pick this guy up, and then he does nothing the rest of the year.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely. Yeah. Why am I wrong?
So this week in particular actually sets up really, really nicely for Javonte Williams. Like, we saw him, first of all, the workload is there, right? There's no question who the RB1 is in Dallas. Coming into the season, there were some question marks, but Jadon Blue was a healthy scratch. Miles Sanders lost a big fumble. Javonte Williams he played 77% of the offensive snaps, and he racked up 17 touches, including 2 catches on 3 targets. We saw him score 2 touchdowns against what historically, or at least last year, was a really strong Eagles defense. And that was as underdogs, 8-point underdogs against the Eagles. And now he's coming into week 2. The Cowboys are back at home. They're 4.5-point favorites against the Giants. The Giants were just destroyed by Commanders running backs in week 1. Austin Eckler had a good game. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt had a good game. Jeremy McNichols chipped in. Like, they gave up a combined 133 rushing yards, which was the 4th most in all of football last week. 1 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving yards. They gave up the 6th most PPR points per game, or 6th most PPR points last week, specifically to running backs. And they did that last year as well, giving up the 5th most PPR points to running backs in all of 2024. So you got a locked in RB1 with a favorable spread. Dallas should be able to run the ball as much as they want. Much better matchup this week than he had against the Eagles last week. If nothing else, this guy should get you at least 15 plus touches, and volume is how you score points in fantasy football. So I like him to get 15 plus touches and hopefully another touchdown here.
And then does everybody rush to go pick up Ja'Cory after the Eckler injury? That's the one. He should have already been on a team, but if he's not, go pick up him. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200.
100%. Scoop him up. Also, keep an eye out for a potential Kenneth Walker to the Commanders trade.
Oh, I like that. Lil C. White writes in on YouTube real quick. Do you believe the Washington needs to trade for a receiver that can get separation? And I see that, but I gotta say, like, McLaurin didn't look great last night. Debo looked a lot better. I think against teams not the Green Bay Packers with that pass rush, I think Washington's offense is going to be just fine.
I agree. And also they're not really in a position anymore where they can trade for anything. I mean, the problem with Washington is that roster is starting to look pretty old. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore was getting torched yesterday. I mean, he got beat up by Malik Heath. No offense to Malik Heath, but this is a guy that used to lock
Lattimore was one of the MVPs of the game.
Yeah, and this is a guy that used to lock up Mike Evans on the regular, and now he's, we got old Von Miller. Terry McLaurin just got that new contract, but he skipped a ton of practice, a ton of training camp. He's going on 30. Debo Samuel hasn't been the same, although he looks much lighter on his feet. He looks really good. So I think all in all, as long as they got Jaden Daniels, that offense will be fine. But based on the moves that they've already made this year, I can't see them being in a position where they can go get another wide receiver if they already have Terry McLaurin or Debo Samuel. If anything, they got to figure something out at running back.
Mikey, we've shared your Twitter at BBFFMikey. It's basementbroodff.com. How else do people find you?
Honestly, I am really active on LinkedIn of all things.
Ooh, okay,
so I don't know if any of your people are on LinkedIn.
I use it every day, so hopefully other people do too. It's a great place to be.
It's a great place, and it's not what people used to think it is. It used to be just a place you share your resume, you try and get a job, but now it's a bunch of people posting content. I'm trying to be the fantasy football guy over on LinkedIn. So yeah, just Mikey Henninger on LinkedIn is probably my most active, way more than Twitter even. Otherwise, YouTube at Basement Brood Fantasy Football, and then basementbroodff.com as well.
Awesome. Well, Mikey, I had a blast. I hope you had a good time. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely, man. I did, by the way, just real quick, I did create a promo code on my website.
Oh, yeah.
All capital letters, I think, just Thunder. So if anybody wants to check out Basement Brood FF.
How'd you come up with that? You're so creative.
I know.
That's unbelievable.
I know. As exhausted as I am, I'm surprised I came up with that one. But yeah, enter promo code Thunder and you'll get $5 off every single month.
Nice. I love it. Mikey, thank you so much for jumping on. We'll definitely catch up with you soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. That's Mikey Henninger at Basement Brood Fantasy Football, basementbroodff.com. Follow Mikey or find Mikey on LinkedIn. It is Henninger is the last name, spelled like it is said. And Mikey is, you can find him very easily. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with some quick NFL Week 2 picks. And then Mike JOCKO Jacques is going to join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. We are just cruising along here on a Friday. It's a football Friday. It is a victory Friday. It is the Green Bay Packers are better than everybody else Friday here on The Fan. This is Middays with Thunder. I'm Mitch Nellis. Our thanks to Mikey Henninger for jumping on the fan guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Tommy, I think we got to have that guy back. That guy was great.
He was great.
Yeah, he did a good job. You can tell he's a podcaster. He produces a lot of his own content.
Plug in the LinkedIn is crazy.
Yeah,
like
I love that he wants to be the LinkedIn guy.
I remember the first time you hit me up, but when we were kind of just starting,
LinkedIn,
it was
right?
on LinkedIn. You were like, "Do you use this?"
I couldn't find you anywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
and that's where you were.
Yeah.
Mike JOCKO Jock is going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour. But we did last week on Friday. We went through our week 1 picks, so I kind of want to go through our week 2 picks. I went 7-9 against the spread, so I'm not embarrassed.
Okay.
Like I would have liked to have done better, of course. But 7-9 against the spread, I'm not embarrassed to keep this going to week 2.
Let's do it again.
All right, let's start. I'm already 1-0. Right? I already
Packers.
I got the Packers,
Nailed it.
and I did pick that. So if you listen, we all picked that.
We all picked it,
and we're all homers, but we also pick what we think is going to happen.
It's going to be hard for me to pick against the Packers all season.
I know. Well, we'll see we'll see what those numbers are. I haven't seen. I emailed Austin because they have. Oh, it's up. What do you think Green Bay Cleveland is real quick?
The
answer's not flipping enough. It's 7 right now.
Oh God.
At the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hammer.
We gotta get down there right now.
Right now.
7.
Hammer.
I was gonna say 11.
Yeah,
you said
I said 12. Yeah, I mean hammer.
What is going on? All right. Buffalo at the Jets. Buffalo favored by 6.5. I think Jets keep it close. I like the home dog at 6.5. The Jets Fields can score, man. The Jets can score.
I'll take Buffalo just to be contrarian on a pick because
am I keeping track of your picks too, or just mine?
Just telling you if you want to.
No, that's fine.
Not. Yeah. But yeah, I don't hate the take at all. I'm a Justin Fields believer. I was very happy to see him leave because I like to root for Justin Fields.
Yeah, I do as well. I think it'll be similar to Jets Steelers last week. I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think the Bills win, but I'll take the 6.5. Bears at Lions. I think we picked this one.
I picked Bears. You picked Lions, I believe.
So I'm going to stick with the Lions -6. Browns Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 11.5. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah.
I know that Mikey said this game could be high scoring and that the Browns are going to have to throw a lot. I just don't think they're going to get in the end zone. Like the Ravens could bend and not break, but the Ravens could score a lot.
They put up 40 on Buffalo.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what they can do to Cleveland.
60, 70. Rams at Titans. This was Mason's pick of the week, right? He picked the Rams -5.5.
I think he got him at 5, though.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think he got him at 5 yesterday instead of 5.5.
The Titans covered by 0.5 point at Denver last week. I did not like that. I'm gonna take the Rams -5.5. I think the Rams are just better.
Okay, I agree.
Yep. Let's see. We got the Patriots at the Dolphins. The Patriots +2.5. Give me the Patriots. I know they let us down in week 1. This is more of a conversation about the Dolphins.
Dolphins stink.
The Dolphins stink. The Patriots win this game. So if they're +2.5, I might take the Patriots money line in this one. Giants at Cowboys. Earthquake. Can I predict earthquake in Dallas? These two teams both should just get swallowed up by God and go away. And
not a Giants fan?
No, I'm not.
If Russell Wilson plays this whole game, take Dallas. If he gets benched in the middle of the game, which could happen.
I like that take. I'm taking Dallas.
Yeah.
I think they stick with Russ, and I think it's a mess. Cowboys -5.5. I'm taking that one. Seahawks at Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers -3. I'm taking, in
Aaron Rodgers.
In A-Rod, we trust, man. He's my new best friend.
2 touchdowns away from passing Brett. One more to tie.
It's going to be a big party. Niners at Saints. Mac Jones for the Niners at the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints +3.
Wow.
Yeah.
They stink.
I know, but Mac Jones and no George Kittle. I think the Saints win this game in the ugliest game in the history of Earth.
Don't watch this game.
Yeah. No, I agree. Let's see. That's Niners and Saints. Panthers at Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 7. I'll take the Cardinals.
I think you missed one in the 12 o'clock slate. Did you talk Jags Bengals?
No. How'd I miss that?
3.5, -3.5 for Cincinnati.
Yeah. I got to take the Bengals.
All right.
I know they struggled last week.
I like the Jags. I like the
Jags too, but
Bengals also suck to start the season.
I know,
always.
But I think they'll clean that up from last week. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that one. All right, so then we got the Cardinals game. Broncos at Colts. Broncos are only favored by 1.5. Give me the Broncos all day, baby.
I don't like that line. Vegas line. They know too much.
They do.
They know too much.
The Colts going to win that game.
I don't know, but
they
they
beat
know
Miami,
too much.
big deal.
Same with the next game, too.
No, Eagles at Chiefs. Take the Eagles all day.
I know, but why is that so close?
because the Chiefs are still good.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're still
bad.
good. No, they're not bad. They're not bad.
I think
Tommy,
the Chargers are
The
bad.
Chiefs are not bad.
I think the Chargers are mid.
All right. Well, you don't know ball. That's all.
Okay.
Falcons and Vikings. Who did I take? Vikings minus
Vikings.
3.5.
I think we all took Minnesota.
All right.
Or no, I think you might have went.
No, I switched it.
Okay, you're
because
right.
we thought it was
because we thought it was Bengals.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Yep.
So I got the Vikings minus 3.5 in that one, and then we have 2 Monday night games. I hate 2 Monday night games.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I think it's dumb. Buccaneers at Texans. I'll take the Texans minus 2.5. Oh, you hate that?
I do. That's the one. That's like my underdog lock of the week.
You love the Bucks there.
Bucks.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to. And then Chargers at Raiders. There's another earthquake game. Like,
I don't know.
both
Geno's
teams.
fun, man. Geno's fun.
Do you think they might be okay?
I think they might be okay.
All right, then I'm gonna jump on the Raiders. That's gonna be my Tommy pick.
Okay.
Raiders plus 3.5. So I made my picks. Done. I wrote them down. Went 7-9. I'm gonna keep going until I'm like terrible.
Until
like
you 4 wins or less, you gotta quit.
Right. Then I quit. But 7-9, like you're hanging in, right? You're hanging in at 7-9. I feel like. JOCKO.
Speaking of 4 wins or less,
what's that? Oh, the Badgers?
Right, JOCKO coming
Oh, low-hanging fruit, bro. Yes. Badgers are in Alabama tomorrow morning. That game's on ABC, home of Jared Fialco, Stephanie Sutton, and Dario Melendez here in Milwaukee. JOCKO's going to join us. JOCKO's also on the field at Lambeau last night, probably just like giving high fives left and right.
Just being a dog.
Yeah, that's what he does. At the Badger game last week, I can't remember who it was, but one of the Badgers scored a touchdown and like literally ran to him and hugged him. Like, because he recognized him from the locker room as being like a nice guy. Like, what? That's a thing?
JOCKO.
But yeah, JOCKO just getting it done because he's a dog. My name's Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. He is Tommy Wirtz. We are Middays with Thunder here on 1250 AM 1057 FM. The Fan. JOCKO is next here on The Fan. When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddies and say these magic words. I love everybody. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This is Middays with Thunder on The Fan. Oh, and we're on YouTube. In case you didn't know, we are on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee, youtube.com/@TheFanMilwaukee. Just search at The Fan Milwaukee. If you're using the YouTube app or if you're on your computer, however you are watching that programming, we are right there on YouTube for you. Joining us now on Middays with Thunder. He's on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law, the one, the only, WMTV's own in Madison, Mike JOCKO. JOCKO. What's up, brother?
Oh, I love that introduction. Thank you so much. Now I'm all sorts of fired up and, kicking off the top of the 1 o'clock hour. I mean, that's a prime spot.
I was going to say this is prime time, JOCKO. So no weak sauce allowed. That's for sure.
I better go then.
No. We know you and we trust you. We also know. When I first reached out to you, I was like, we'll preview the Badger game and that sort of stuff. And then I'm on social media last night and you're on the field at Lambeau. You were covering the game last night. So let's start with the Packers, right? Are they the best team in the history of 2025, 2026? Because they're the only team that's 2-0. That's it.
Right. Best, I think the best team of all time in the history of football.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, 2-0, and they seriously, they look great. I mean,
they do.
The first game against the Lions, the rush defense was amazing. Jordan Love played well. Micah Parsons, just his being out there, his ambiance, his spirit, getting blocked by three guys. It's amazing to watch. And last night, I think you get a 9-point win, and it's still. It was way better than that. The Packers special teams and offense may have put the defense in some tough spots, so that they scored maybe a little bit more than they wanted to. But God, they stopped a great quarterback, and just they played really, really well again. So it's one of those weeks now that they play on a Thursday night, and you wish they didn't, because now you have to wait 9-10 days for them to play again, and it's one of those teams that you just can't wait to watch and play again.
Well, that is true, but it's also exciting that they do have this time to rest, that they did get the 2 wins here and now get that mini bye and that opportunity. You mentioned about that final score, and the same thing happened last week. Up by 2-3 scores, they give up a late touchdown, so the score doesn't look quite as dominant as this performance was. They have now dominated 2 NFC playoff teams from last year en route to getting to 2-0. It's we're trying not to get too excited, but this is pretty exciting, JOCKO.
Right. I'm fired. Yeah, all that stuff you said. That gets me even more excited. Mm-hmm. And yes, those are. I know Detroit's trying to figure themselves out after losing their coordinators and trying to get going. But that's a great time to play them when they're still trying to figure things out and get a win in the North. And yeah, just the excitement level is way up there. But it should be. That's the way they played. And again, those late touchdowns. They dominated those teams, and it was still some big time point margins, but even still, it was bigger than that. So
exactly.
Out to a great start, and you get a little dinged up last night, but there's extra time to rest and get healed up before you head down to the mistake on the lake.
Yeah, exactly. To Cleveland. We talked, of course, a lot today about Jaden Reed and his injury. Could be out 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little bit more, depending on his recovery. Gives him an opportunity to recover from his foot injury as well. Gives Christian Watson an opportunity when he comes back in a couple weeks. Gives potentially Matthew Golden an opportunity to jump up and have a bigger impact on the offense. How do you think Jaden Reed's injury affects the wide receiver room?
Yeah, I think that it's always disappointing when you lose a guy like that who was off to a great start, and I do think it's the opportunity for Matthew Golden. Matthew had I call him Matthew me and Matty, but
yeah, sure, of course.
Man, he was so wide open on that touchdown that was overthrown by Jordan Love a little bit. I think he doesn't just know how fast his receiver is. So. I think that opens up more opportunities for everybody else, and that'll be a good thing down the road. When guys get more experience and have a chance to step in, and then you get read back and it's great. It's the next man up kind of thing. So, unfortunately, you hate to see guys get hurt, especially broken collarbone, but still, Matthew Golden's chance to show even more what he's got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mike, JOCKO, Jock joining us here on Middays with Thunder and talking about next man up. We found out before the game. It wasn't a huge surprise, but we were hopeful for Zach Tom and or Aaron Banks to play. Both were out. Zach Tom apparently told Tom Silverstein that he has a torn oblique muscle that he's dealing with. He's not sure how long it will take to heal. He was non-committal about being available against Cleveland a week from Sunday. How big of a hit is it if Zach Tom is out multiple weeks?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you definitely want a guy like Zach Tom playing for your team, and that is disappointing to hear. That he's, and those things. Now I don't have any muscle, so to speak. So when somebody else hurts a muscle or tears a muscle or just has any problems with them, like I don't know what that's like.
Same,
but knowing what a big important part of the puzzle he is, you hate to lose him, but again, somebody comes in and that gives you more depth later on when he is healthy. Leaving will be tough at home, and then you got Dallas as well. I mean, obviously that's going to be even bigger with the Micah Parsons thing, and it's always a big game when you go down to face Dallas. It's going to be on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Just saying, and
no big deal. WMTV.
Yeah. I mean, exclusive rights to that game, not really, but
Micah Parsons is good at Micah Parsons is going to eat. That's for sure.
Right. Yes. I mean, that'd be great too. But getting back to Zach Tom, it just it's an unfortunate thing that happened, and hopefully, with a little bit of time, you get him back and ready for mid-season and a long stretch of playing games.
Absolutely. Mike JOCKO Jock joining us here on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. So let's switch gears a little bit. And there's a game in Tuscaloosa, Alabama tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Alabama is 20.5 point favorites, 20.5 points favorite in this one. I don't know why they announced yesterday that Billy Edwards was not playing. Like we knew that on Monday. Like that was one of the weirdest breaking news things that I've ever seen, because we all knew that. But what do we know about we've had 2 games now with our new quarterback and at least our backup who's 2-0, I guess. Can he manage a team to not disaster tomorrow?
Right. Well, I think Danny O'Neill has played really, really well for the Badgers. And that's one of those guys that, if you would ask him, I'm sure in the first game that he had no thought of even getting in the game, with Billy Edwards Jr., like taking the reins and being the number one guy. And then, obviously we know what happened with him getting hurt. But I think that it's been a couple of nice improving games for Danny O'Neill. It's not like he hasn't played, when guys come in, it's like, this guy's never played football in his whole life. Like he's played football. He knows what it is. I mean, obviously, you're going from the first 2 games to playing in, one of the biggest stages in college football down in Alabama. So to go from, a couple of easier games, so to speak, against the first, and especially against Middle Tennessee State, but they've improved. I mean, like they've improved on him. He's looked better. He looks more confident. I think the team believes in him as far as being, a QB1 until Billy Edwards comes back. But you hear 20.5 point underdogs, and it's a
lot of points.
That's discouraging. Obviously Alabama playing at home. With their loss to Florida State, I feel like their concentration is greater, because they've already, you lose one game in college football, and to have that loss, now it's like, oh, we can't do it again. So, maybe you go in there and they're 2-0, and you have a chance to maybe sneak in on them. But I think their concentration level has been bumped up a little bit. But that doesn't mean, Thunder, that you can't, miracles happen, and I don't even know it would be a miracle. I just think that this, I know it's 20.5 points would be a miracle, right? Okay, that's fine.
But can can they keep it close? Like, can they not be embarrassed? I mean, I think I predicted 37-7. Like that's what that's what I think it's going to be. I don't know if that's embarrassing or not. Like I don't know if it's embarrassing to lose by 30 at Alabama, knowing where they are with your backup quarterback. But it's kind of like how it happens. Like, are you just manhandled all over, and are they playing with their food, or are you fighting and it's 23-7 until midway through the fourth quarter, and then they score a couple touchdowns at the end, but it was kind of close most of the game. Like, how does that look?
Right. Yeah, I just think that. I'm always, I think me for a long time that I'm an optimist, and
yes,
and
you
that,
are.
I'm always looking for, what could possibly happen, especially for the home team. But the defense has played really, really well in the first two games. They've looked great. They gave up the touchdown to Middle Tennessee State, and that was because, unfortunately, Danny O'Neal threw a pass that bounced off a defensive lineman's foot and kind of kicked up in the air, and so they scored their touchdown on that. I just think that. That defense, if they go down there and play well, and Danny O'Neal, you're asking for a lot. But if he doesn't, limits the mistakes, I think they can be in the ball game. But I can also see your scenario playing out too, because again, we've talked about what a great place it is to play down in Alabama, and how good that team is, and how they can't lose another game if they want to be playing in the playoffs. So. Although with Alabama they might let it slide a little bit. Well, they've got 5 losses, but they're Alabama, let them play again. So but you just never know until you go down there and play. And again, the defense, I think if the defense can play, everybody's got to play their mind. Everybody's got to it's got to be the best game of your lives to go down there and upset Alabama.
But
so I think it's possible. Yeah, a little bit of me says
of course it does. I would just be happy with not embarrassing. I want to see them go down. I want to see an entertaining game. I don't want to see them get the doors blown off. I don't want it to be 31-0 at halftime.
Right.
Which it could be also. It could be 31-0 at halftime, and that would just bum me out, because that's not that's not where the Badgers should be as a program. They should not win at Tuscaloosa. Like, that's not a game, even at the top of their game. They should be competitive, but they shouldn't win this game. And I don't know that, I want them to be competitive. I just don't want to get embarrassed to a level that, like, we're just like, we get back on Sunday or Monday and everybody's like, oh, fire Fickle. Oh, football stinks. Oh, this, that, and the other. And it's like, that might end up being the case, whatever the score is. Like, the fire Fickle people are going to be out there no matter what.
Right. There's no, it could be a one point game and be, fire Fickle. But I just think that, when they scheduled this game, how many years ago, and I remember when it came out, oh my God, Alabama's going to come here. We're going to go to Alabama. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And I just think, and apparently there goes the bus that drove by. So, just the excitement level, even at that time, and the Badgers were, at that time were, he went 11-1 that year. They announced it during the regular season. So, but even then, like, the Badgers, when they're 11-1 or 12-0, those kind of teams, you don't expect to go down to Alabama and win, so
that's true.
But I can see that. Yeah. You just don't want to go down there and come back with a loss that just looks horrible, especially when I think things are trending in the right direction for Luke Fickell and the team. It would just kind of, it set them back. Obviously, the following week opens up Big Ten play, and that's where it gets really important with Maryland. But just a chance to maybe go down there and look good, look decent against playing on the, like I said, one of the biggest stages, if not the biggest stage in college football at Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
If nothing else, it'll absolutely be an experience for the kids and for the team.
Right.
And we'll see, it'll be fun to get to watch the team on that field, at least until the game starts. Mike, JOCKO, Jock at JOCKO Sports on Twitter. I know you're busy with Packers and Badgers, but when you do get to a Brewers game, whether it's between now and the playoffs or once the playoffs start, make sure you reach out. We'll have you come in studio. Maybe we'll grab a bite to eat, whatever it is. Just let us know, and have a great weekend, my friend. Thanks so much for jumping on.
We got high school football tonight. Milton at Oregon is our big game of the week. So
that's the big
one.
one.
Over there live at 5 and 6, and then just be glued to the television tomorrow. We're not going to Tuscaloosa, but we're going to be definitely all over it. But hopefully we're talking about shocking the world.
That would be that. You know what? If they do, you're on Monday. You're on Monday. If they win this game, you're on Monday. I love it.
Count me in.
JOCKO, thanks so much, man. Talk to you soon.
Brother.
Love you too. That's Mike JOCKO, Jock, WMTV Sports Director, Channel 15 there in Madison. Andy Herman and Mason Crosby had a chance to talk earlier this morning. We're going to run that back because it is a victory Friday. The Packers won. It is awesome. It is super exciting. So we're going to give you a little taste for what Andy Herman and Mason Crosby and Tommy Wirtz had to say earlier today. Coming up here, Middays with Thunder, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. We are in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Joining us in the first segment of the Mason Crosby Show, as he does each and every Friday, the most keep your thoughts in order man I can think of that works here, Mr. Andy Herman. Andy, good morning as well.
Good morning to you guys as well. I do have some bad. I don't want to start off with bad news, but I do have actually some bad news. It has been reported that Jeff Hafley was caught walking across the crosswalk, but he was going he was actually jaywalking. He was jaywalking, and there was an old lady that had groceries. He did not help her with their groceries to the car. Also, there's some news out there that he did not return his shopping cart to the cart aisle. This is not a head coach candidate in the future, guys. I don't know how any team could possibly view Jeff Hafley as a head coaching candidate after some of these insane allegations that are out there. I think he's going to have to remain defensive coordinator with some of the stuff that's floating around.
Just imagine Jeff Hafley calling double mug blitz at Aldi, like right there on an old lady. Like that would just be
wrecks her cart just sending people, just send
it's
them.
just a poor human being. It's just unfortunate. He had head coach written all over him, but
He's not ready.
Like he's gonna have to stay a coordinator forever now.
Yeah, he's not ready. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thank you for that news and that update because, we were concerned he was going to go somewhere, but with that kind of attitude, like nobody's going to want to touch that.
I mean, seriously,
that's crazy.
This guy, enjoy him while he's here, right, Mason? Because there's no shot he's staying after the season.
Yes, like for sure. I mean, obviously, what he did last year, what he's doing right now, like the creativity, the way he calls those defenses. Let's be honest though. That defense is really good. Has some football players on that team. Yeah.
Stacked.
Those are ball players. I mean, it is ridiculous. Bullard had a night. Keyshawn Nixon is McLaurin a good wide receiver? I don't know. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon just made him look amateur. My guy, I was telling Tommy right before, Andy, my favorite player on that defense right now, Devontae Wyatt.
I knew you were going to say Devontae Wyatt before you said Devontae Wyatt. He's playing
I love those big guys, and it's a game changer. Diving through the legs to try to intercept a spike at the end of the game when you're beating them, and it's like game's pretty much over. Like, give me all of that. Like I told Tommy I would have been on the sideline just losing my mind. I would have just been like, yes, go, because that was so awesome. And he is just a force to be reckoned with. I mean, this run defense. What is the stat? I think they've given up 49 rush yards or something in the first two games against two teams that love to run the football.
Average.
I mean, it's
the
insane.
Average. The average. I think it's 90,
the average
the
per
97,
game. Sorry.
97
49
right now.
per game average.
Yes.
But I mean, that's insane. It's just insanity. And, and that's again, Kenny Clark, a great run defender, has, been exceptional for the Packers. Cowboys took him to shore up their run game. So, I mean, it's like, I think I'm so happy that this team has stepped up and that, just playing at a high level. I mean, that score could have been 34 plus, right? I mean, that game could have gotten out of hand early. Easily. Commanders are a good team. They kept them in it. Packers were kind of shooting themselves in the foot a couple times, but an awesome game. So what in that game did you see that, potentially needs to be cleaned up? I have a few thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, Andy.
I think it's just offensive efficiency. I mean, special teams, I'm willing to give a little bit of accident forgiveness with the fact that Bo Melton, Zane Anderson, two of your best specialists are out in that game. You could tell the coverage was certainly not the same. They had Kamal Haddon in as a jammer on one play, and he just basically didn't touch the guy at all. And the guy went right down and was able to make a tackle. So they were missing a couple of their core guys, and you could tell. But I think you want to get a little bit of that cleaned up. McManus, he made up for it later on the long field goal, but had the doink off the crossbar. You could tell he was upset with himself right after that. Right before halftime. But I think a couple things there on teams, and then offensively, just the efficiency stuff. There's just moments where it's this close to being supercharged. And to your point, like there was so much more that was out there on the field. I love how aggressive this offense is in a world where everything is checked down and the average depth of target is just plummeting down like a stock market that's collapsing. You see it the exact opposite in Green Bay, where you're seeing 15-yard throw, 20-yard throw, 50-yard throw down the field. And it's just Jordan getting back there in clean pockets and absolutely letting it rip. And I think once you start seeing a couple of those big-time completions get completed a little bit more regularly, and you start seeing this run game come along a little bit more, it's just game over at that point. And you can tell, like, they're 2 games in. Jordan missed some time, during camp with the thumb injury on his left hand and things like that. Hopefully they get a little bit more practice time coming up this week just to shore up a couple of those things. But once that efficiency comes on offense, I don't know what you do to stop this team, because then it's going to be firing on all cylinders. That's what I'm waiting for. But that's the only thing at this point, Mace. Once it gets done with that, I don't know where else they kind of go. They're going to be really freaking good. Yeah.
They're really good. And to be able to hold, two really good teams, the teams that were, some of the best teams in the NFL last year. And like, obviously Commanders projected to be another really, they're going to be a good team this year. So Lions probably still the same. We still have some question marks there, but yeah, I think my only thing too is like, there were some spots, and I do think the Commanders have a good front four, especially probably a good, front seven is one of the better ones in the game. And, they affected Jordan a couple times, but I still think that offensive line with missing 2 starters, they put, what was it? They put Belton in to start, and then Kennard came in and played.
And they kind of rotated.
Yeah. a lot of snaps in that game as well. So, you didn't notice Jordan Morgan not, doing his job and, being out there. He was effective. The touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs, though, like, I love the fake, the fake fade. I mean, that route was so dirty, and it looked like Jordan looked like he was open to throw that corner, and then just threw that nice inside slant. I mean, they abused that Washington Commanders secondary. Lattimore looked lost out there. I mean, it's that guy has been a Pro Bowler. I mean, he's a top corner, and they were just running him ragged. As soon as I saw them go to man and they were playing man most of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, our receivers, our team's going to eat, especially with Tucker Kraft into the mix as well.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Radio. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. I want to play this clip for you guys here too, because I want your instant reactions. It's Micah Parsons speaking on the defensive performance through the last 2 weeks.
Best defense in NFL terms, those is earned. It's early to say. The best defense do it consistently. Consistency equals greatness. And, we had a great start, so I'm just happy about that. But we can be a great defense. It's just up to us to continue to push and strive for that.
Did you know Pat Murphy is also the manager of the Brewers and the coach of the Green Bay Packers with that word set right there? It's the exact same thing, right? We can be. They're so hungry still, Andy and Mason. They don't care about what they have done. They have so much higher goals now, and they bought in so fast. Andy, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm right there too. And it just feels like getting Micah Parsons on this defense just, again, kind of supercharged everything. Rob Domofsky just put this tweet out. Getting Micah over here, it changed up their whole personality. That was wide receiver Malik Heath on the Packers defense. And it feels like they just kind of needed that boost of confidence. I mean, Micah is changing when the entire everything when he's in there, but it still feels like this defense is playing with a different energy and intensity, even when he's not in there. It felt like this is just a little kick that this defense needed to recognize that they can be as good as they want to be. And when you've got guys like Devontae Wyatt and LVN stepping up in a significant way, Edgerrin Cooper taking over from where he was a season ago, Quay Walker playing some of his best football, these corners batting away everything on the outside. Evan Williams looks fantastic. Bullard, as you mentioned, had a phenomenal day yesterday. It's everyone kind of doing their job. And yes, it is going to take this consistency. Well, remember that one game where the Chicago Bears victory in week 1 where Aaron Rodgers after's like, we got a defense. No, you played Mitch Trubisky. Is what happened. You didn't have a defense yet. This now it feels like you have a defense, but that just goes to show you have to show that week in and week out if you really want that moniker as one of the best in the league. They're going to have Cleveland next, the throwing Joe Flacco's. We'll see how they're able to do against that in week 3, but I'm feeling very confident right now with where this defense is at.
Mason, you've had some teams that you really like to credit the defensive performance, especially 15, 14 years ago. You talk about how great the defense was during that Super Bowl run and whatnot. But seriously, this defense right now through 2 games has potential to surpass any I've seen in my lifetime for Green Bay, it feels like.
Yeah, it's speed and physicality. I mean, they are the fastest, they have the fastest guys on the field. Every time they're on defense, they are the most physical when they're on defense. And that, and it was interesting because Dan Quinn last night, he was on that Seattle staff when it was the Legion of Boom there in Seattle. And honestly, since that, this looks like that type of defense. It is just relentless pursuit of the football. They attack everything. There is no let up. Evan Williams thumped some guys yesterday. It's like everybody is the most physical and relentless to the ball. You saw Micah Parsons a couple times, no business, he's not even in the play. But, he's finishing till that ball carrier's on the ground every time. And that's where it starts. It has to start from the top. It has to start from your best players, and then everybody feeds off of that. So, yeah, I can't say enough about what the defense is doing, but I totally agree with him in his regard that they are 2-0. This has only been 2 games. They are a really good defense. They have proven that already, but they want to be a great defense, and that takes time. That takes doing it over and over again, overcoming injuries because there will be injuries. So who's going to plug in when that time comes to go out there and ball out? And only time will tell, but as of right now, we have to be pretty excited, pretty optimistic that this is going to be one of the best Packers defenses we've seen in a long time.
Well, and this guy.
And the ball handed off, and the tackle's made right away. Lucas Van Ness, 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage, second down.
Andy, I don't think anyone was. Look, I've said it multiple times on multiple shows all across this station. I was, maybe still am, the biggest hater of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, but you cannot doubt what they have done the last 2 weeks. Lucas Van Ness looks like a first-round pick. He looks like the guy they were looking for out of Iowa when they decided to draft him. And Rashawn Gary, he picked up another sack yesterday as well. This defense now has gotten better all around it because of Micah Parsons, something we all predicted. And here's the other one here from Ryan Wood, at by Ryan Wood on Twitter. He joins the Wisconsin Sports Daily today around 2:40. Micah Parsons took 50 snaps yesterday.
Yeah, he played a lot.
Jumped a huge amount. He had, I think it was 8 pressures. It was unofficially 7, he said. I think it went up to 8.
It was 7 or 8 quarterback hits.
Four
right?
QB hits from Micah Parsons alone, a half a sack, and 3 drawn penalties. Andy, the other guys other than Micah Parsons is where I want to focus, though. LVN, Rashawn Gary. No, I could not see them looking this good through 2 weeks just by adding a Micah Parsons.
Well, the interesting thing is the most impactful defender up front in all of training camp prior to any Micah Parsons stuff was LVN. And everyone, myself included, had sort of the same feel of like, he's doing amazing. I'm not going to get overhyped about this because we need to see it in the regular season. Like it's one thing to do it in camp. It's another, like, can it actually carry over into games? I mean, he was super impactful. He was consistently in the backfield. He had one day where he just completely wrecked practice. Like, it was the best that I had ever seen LVN. And he completely just wrecked shop for the Packers offense all day long. And even after seeing that all training camp long, I still held the same feeling of like, that's cool. Do it in the regular season. And now we're seeing him do it in the regular season. Devontae Wyatt, similar sort of stuff. He didn't have the huge training camp. In fact, I thought he had one of the more quiet training camps of any player, where it was just like, is Devontae Wyatt even on this team anymore? And then he comes into the season and he has been absolutely tearing it up on the inside. I was so, like, Mason and I were in lockstep when he was talking about him earlier. I'm like, he's going to say Devontae Wyatt here, deservedly so. And he's been insane on the interior. And then we've talked about it, guys. Like, it's like you had a number 2 pitcher as your ace and a number 3 pitcher as your number 2. And then all of a sudden you make that big trade for CC Sabathia, and CC Sabathia gets your number 1 spot. And then your number 1 guy goes to 2, your 2 goes to 3, your 3 to 4, your 4 to 5. And your whole rotation is now exactly where it's supposed to be. And it felt like maybe Rashawn Gary was a little bit over his skis as a number 1, maybe LVN a little bit as a 2, maybe Devontae Wyatt as a 3, and so on and so forth. But now you've got Mike as the 1, and it puts everything else exactly into place where you want it to. And now all that attention goes to your number 1 guy. And now Rashawn's getting one-on-ones, and LVN's be able to line up all over the place. And Devontae Wyatt's lining up against some more advantageous matchups, and all the attention on them. So all those guys get one-on-one blocks, and now everything comes together and looks fantastic. That's what it feels like, and it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. And, I'll even add this, though. It's like, I love the stuff on X, like all the social media, just about, again, Halfley just being a sick man. It's like, the guy is a nut job. I mean, he puts Micah Parsons at the 3 technique, and it's like, and you bring and you mug up Quay and you mug up Cooper, and it's like, who's going, who's staying? Van Ness is dropping into coverage. Like, it is such a hard defense to play against. And that's what I'm going to say too, is that these first 2 weeks, like, it's a good defense when you dictate to the offense how they have to play the game.
Yep.
And that is what this defense is doing. It is, and let's be real, like, the pass rush, exceptional, but it's also disciplined, because against the Jaden Daniels, if you just light your hair on fire and you're running at him, he's going to probably move around and find some space to try to beat you with his legs. But he couldn't even do that in this game because the pass rush was so disciplined. And I mean, he just went into he looked like Jared Goff out there.
Yeah, Mason.
It's like, let's just dink and dunk. Let's just throw it to our running backs. And I mean, he had a time clock where he's like, I literally can't hold the ball longer than 3 seconds.
Mason, I don't know if you've seen it probably live in person yesterday, just showing it on TV. The game was won maybe at 14-0. You could have said almost sooner, maybe, based on Jaden Daniels' body language. I thought he looked totally out of place yesterday and never was going to be moving the ball. and, smiling at Parsons. Like, that was like a total, like all the time. It felt like yesterday. I don't know if you picked up on that vibe too, Mason, but it just seemed like the moment was almost too big for Jaden Daniels.
A little bit, yeah. And it again, I think I texted y'all and I said, I think when it was 17-3, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, like, they can just kind of hold this. Like, they will not score, that many points if this stays how it is. And then you saw too, is like Micah Parsons got 3 penalties called against him. I mean, that probably could have been 8+. I mean, that offensive tackle, like both sides. I mean, Tunsil's a great tackle, the rookie on the other side. I mean, how many times can you have your like a guy be outside your frame and you hook him and not get called for offensive holding? I mean, it's like Micah Parsons was on their edge every single time. And then I loved it because then he steps hard upfield. That rookie right tackle went hard back, and that's when he threw him inside and, beats him on the inside. So it's those weapons. It's that creativity in the pass rush and all those things. And then it allows Keyshawn Nixon to have a great night. It allows Bullard, Evan, everybody can just clamp down on the outside because they know that time clock is real. And if we let these guys run routes, a good quarterback's going to find them. But they can press up on these guys. Keyshawn Nixon is playing press coverage on McLaurin on the outside, like, and breaking on on little stop routes, which is wild to imagine that for this Packers defense. And they are just doing it at a high rate. It's super confident. Hafley has them exactly where they need to be. And again, I like the part of it's a disciplined football team as well. Like, because that we can't forget that they're not just like being crazy and doing wild stuff. I mean, they are disciplined in what they're doing every time they step on the field.
Andy, thank you so much for popping on today. Any closing remarks on the Packers Commanders after the Week 2 victory?
I just want to go back to that Micah Parsons play really quick. The one that Mason's saying where like he's obviously going outside and then he stutter or like does like a jab step outside and then just immediately cuts inside and then goes inside and Josh Connerly is just completely lost and has to hold him. And Parsons still gets a half sack on that play. He, in the very blink of an eye, goes a full gap over before a 300+ pound offensive lineman can remotely react to it. So if you're thinking about Josh Connerly for a second, the first thing you have to worry about is if Micah Parsons just goes pure speed off the edge and you don't get set out there, your quarterback's just obliterated and you're not going to be able to get around to him if he just goes pure speed. So you have to get out there with pure speed, right? And even then you have to also be aware that like he might just try to go right through you. So you have to get out there and then also be ready to anchor if he decides to turn speed into power and just try to bull rush you back into the quarterback. So just even imagine this as a rookie, but so you plant outside to make sure that he can't get around you. You're one-on-one on this play. And you're thinking, all right, he's coming out. He jab steps outside. You're thinking he's coming around the edge. And then in the instant blink of an eye, he is a full gap over and inside of you. And you're a 300-pound offensive tackle, a rookie, and you're just like, what? He just literally teleported from one gap to the other. And now I have to get inside and try to stop him on the inside and move my 300+ pound body as this guy's running a 4.3 40 to the quarterback, now a full gap over. You can't do anything. You just can't do anything against that. I don't care who you are, and especially as a rookie. And the only thing you can do is hold them. He holds them. And the only thing that does is cost Micah Parsons a full sack because Edgerrin Cooper was able to get there in the same time now that he was being held, and he gets a half sack instead. Like that's all you can do. It is crazy what that guy can do on the edge. And I do not envy any offensive lineman having to go against that because you're just in no man's land.
Andy Herman, not excited about the Packers season at all underway here. Andy, thank you so much for jumping on. Have a great rest of your weekend, my friend. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the day.
Appreciate it.
That was Andy Herman earlier today on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're going to get into some Brewers talk when we come back here on Middays with Thunder. The St. Louis Cardinals are in town for a 3-game set, 7:10 first pitch tonight, 7:15 on Fox tomorrow night, and then, of course, 1:10, which is pretty much always the Sunday time, because heaven forbid the Brewers get a Sunday night baseball game. I don't even know if they have Sunday night baseball anymore now that the NFL has started. But we're going to get into some Brewers talk when we come back. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. It's Middays with Thunder. 1250 AM, 1057 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app and free on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's still free. Well, not YouTube TV, but YouTube. This seems appropriate. Hi, Tommy.
Hey, Mitch.
This is Middays with Thunder. Tommy Wirtz, Mitch Nellis with you. Thanks to Mason and Andy and Tommy for that previous segment. It was just a really good segment of Packers talk that I thought I wanted to share with everybody because it is such a victory Friday. It's such positivity going into the weekend. And I knew I was going to talk about the Brewers the last segment, so I figured we should share some Packers talk with everybody. The Brewers, our Milwaukee Brewers, can clinch a playoff spot tonight. They need a win over St. Louis, and they need losses by the Reds and Giants. Let's see, what do we got? The Reds are at the Athletics, and that, who knows with the Athletics? Like, that could go anyway. Like, nobody knows with the Athletics. Every once in a while, they put up 15 runs.
They got a bunch of 12-year-olds playing their butts off.
They do. Like, they're just having fun. Yeah. Like that, they're not that good. 67 and 80 though. Like, they're not horrible.
No, and they got a really fun future ahead of them.
Yeah, they got some mashers
with Kurtz and Wilson. Like, those guys are awesome. And they just traded for DeVries.
Oh, did they? Okay,
Leo DeVries, the number 3 prospect in baseball. Like, that was the trade. I forget. That was for what's his face? Guy who throws a lot, Mason Miller.
Yes. Right. The closer.
Yep.
The Giants are home against the Dodgers tonight. Yamamoto is at Verlander. Verlander's got a 4.09 ERA. Not bad. He's 3-10 though. Like, not the win-loss record he was looking for this year, but he's pitched pretty well. So if the Giants lose that game, they can lose that game to the Dodgers pretty easily. The Reds could lose at the A's, and the Brewers could win. Tommy, I'm going to make a prediction. This is like the lamest prediction of all time. By the time we come in on Monday, the Brewers will have clinched a playoff spot. seeing that they are literally magic number like 1, basically. 2, right? 2,
Yeah.
but they need some combination of them winning and Reds and Giants losing. Like, I think at some point this weekend, even if the Brewers take care of it themselves, just with wins, I think by the time we come in Monday morning, 3 more games in for each of those teams, I think the Brewers will be playoff bound. Is that fair?
I like it. I like
I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb there.
No,
Like,
I don't think it's crazy.
I think that should be the expectation.
I mean,
almost.
like, can we just be real? Like, can we just pound St. Louis? Like,
Yes.
just after you get that
Yes,
from
thank you.
Texas, and Texas is fighting for their playoff lives right now. So I understand.
And Hellman decided he's the best player on earth.
I mean, Michael Hellman.
He's the righty Bryce Terang.
Why would you trade for Eugenio Suarez at the trade deadline when you could trade for Michael Hellman?
There you go.
Like, that was my thought after that series. Was just, this guy is insane.
Yeah.
So, I just would like to see. And you know what's great, Mitch, is that it's Priester on the bump. Like,
yes, love.
Like, that's just
again. The Brewers have won each of the last 17 games, including 14 starts in which Quinn Priester has pitched.
May 24th.
Unbelievable.
That's the last time.
That's the
last time they lost a game Quinn Priester pitched.
That is
May. It
ridiculous.
is September.
I know.
I mean, what?
Can you spell ridiculous without Priester? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, you can, but
Quinn.
Yeah.
Illus is how you spell ridiculous.
Quindiculous.
Quindiculous.
Yes, absolutely.
Put it on a shirt.
I love
Put it
it
on a shirt.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be great. A quick update. Matthew Boyd continues to forget how to pitch, much to our happiness.
I am
it's only the second inning, but the Rays already lead 3-0 at Wrigley today.
Need the Cubs to lose a little bit too.
The Brewers magic number there's 11.
Yeah.
I feel they'll get there.
If that got to 9 today, that'd be great.
That would be great. Single digits after the day today.
Yes, been stuck on 11 for a long time now. It feels like.
Yeah, it will be. All right, I'm gonna do some math real quick. Let's see if I can do. Let's pull up my trusty calculator. Let's go. Let's see. 12 divided by 37 times 162. All right. Oh, that's not bad. All right, let's go. 30 divided by 37.
I mean, Bill Nye has
times
nothing on you.
162. All right.
This is Mitch DeGrasse Tyson at his work right here.
In his last 37 games, Bryce Terang is hitting 340 with 12 home runs and 30 RBI in his last 37 games. Okay,
Yeah, he's gross.
If you extrapolate that to 162 games, okay, he's hitting 340, 210 hits, 52 home runs, and 131 RBI.
Bryce Terang MVP bets next year.
37 games is not a small sample size.
No.
You're not hot for 2 weeks, right? You're
over a
not too
month.
hot for 2 weeks, bro. That is 5+ weeks that he's on pace for a 52 home run season.
Did I say at 13 or was it 14 homers if
I
he
think
gets to
it was 14.
21? If he gets to 21, right? I mean, and that's like,
I mean,
it was a great line. It
Yeah,
was a great
it
line
was.
because it's going to be what do you got? Just about 2 weeks left. I think the
15 games,
28th or 29th is one of the last games of the year. So 15 games to get 3 homers out of Bryce. Like, that's a phenomenal line.
We'd be surprised if he didn't get there at this point, right?
Yeah, but like also
28th, Sunday the 28th, home against Cincinnati is the final game.
if he's at 20 homers, like, we got to go to the game. Like, just to go see if we can get it in person.
Yes.
Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And we got to start coming up with designs here. I don't know what I'm going to get,
Right.
but
You're not just getting the number 2.
well, that was for a different, like, that
Right,
was
I know,
20 game hit streak. I don't want to like mess everything up here. I don't know.
That's fair.
What should I get? Like, just a bunch of tallies all the way up to 21?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of tallies. but
So the problem with that is that then it's going to look like a barcode. It's not going to look like everybody's going to think, oh, what's the barcode for? And you don't want to deal with that. Or it could be just like you could actually
I'm just saying with like the cross, the line through the
with
fives.
the line through. Oh,
like,
that's not bad.
We could do 2 on top of each other,
Right,
and then
and
like
then
one
one.
at the top or one at the bottom or something.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
You get it. You get Roger Clemens' face because he's number 21.
No, won't do
No,
that.
not
That's-
Roger Clemens.
that- I have veto power. I
Yes.
have veto power.
For sure. Of course you do.
But I
It's
will.
your body.
I will commit
Tommy, your
to
body,
a
your
tattoo
choice.
still. I have committed
Right,
to
your
it.
body,
Yeah.
your choice.
Yeah, I have
Like,
committed.
yeah.
I am not. I've put it out on the airwaves, and I was really, you saw, like, trying to get it to happen all year.
You
like,
have
I would.
been. You have
I
been.
had given
I will
out
give- yes.
so many different options
No,
for
I
it, and
agree.
now we have a great line where Bryce Terang. Remember, he had one robbed too by Hellman. Like. That
Yeah.
could be Michael Hellman could be the reason
Oh my
why
gosh.
I don't get
What
a
if he
tattoo.
is?
Yeah,
What if
like
he
that
is?
would be insane.
So tonight it's Quinn Priester against Andre Payante, who's 6-13, 5.28 ERA. Tomorrow night, 7:15 on Fox, the big Fox, not Fox Sports or anything like that. The big Fox tomorrow night. It's the night game. Brandon Woodruff, who's 6-2 with a 3.32 ERA. He'll take on Sonny Gray.
Nice.
Better in name than in results this year.
Is his name kind of oxymoronic?
Sonic, because he's old.
Oh, Sonny Gray.
Oh, Sonny. Oh, I can see that.
I didn't
yeah.
even notice that until you said it
A little
right
bit.
there. Yeah.
He's 13-8 with a 4.45 ERA. And then Sunday it's the Miz, who's 5-2 with a 4 ERA, still over 4. Be great to get under 4 after Sunday.
Yeah.
I think 5-2 with a 4.09 ERA. He'll take on Miles Mikolas, who's 7-10 with a 4.84. Man, the Cardinals, like, it's funny because like Payante, Gray, and Mikolas have basically pitched all season. Like but they're like, 6-13, 13-8, 7-10.
Miles Mikolas
all
is
with bad
the,
ERAs.
He is the Nick Collison to the Thunder. Miles Mikolas
Yes,
to
I feel
the,
like that.
to the Cardinals,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Been there forever.
Just never leaving, going to be a part of
Always
the team.
mid.
I bet you
Always mid. He had a couple seasons where he was good though.
he had a
I feel
couple of
like.
goods
Yeah,
in there.
goods. Not great, but
Yeah.
good.
He might have a sub 3 ERA season out there, though. I wouldn't be shocked if Mikolas has that. He made so many. I feel like he's been the opening day starter the last 8 years, right? I mean, it's got to be somewhere around that.
So he spent his first couple of years with San Diego, 12-13. He was with Texas in 14. And then, all right, I didn't know this. He was with San Diego for 25 games in 2012. San Diego in 2013 for 2 games. Texas in 2014 for 10 games. 2014. He didn't pitch with St. Louis till 2018.
What?
15, 16, and 17. Did not pitch in the major leagues after pitching for 3 seasons. I mean, very, very, bit parts. And then with St. Louis, his first year, he goes 18-4 with a 2.83. I remember he was unhittable in 18.
Yeah.
Like he scared the you know what.
Did he
out of Brewers
did he go to
fans.
like Korea or something?
I bet he went overseas. Then 9-14. Then he was hurt in 21. Then 12-13, 9-13, 10-11, now 7-10. The past 3 seasons, 4.78, 5.35, 4.84 ERA.
I can't believe that.
Just a guy.
That's so weird. That's like 2 straight days. We've had random pitchers talking about that teams and years surprise us. Like we just had this with J.A. Happ. Like literally, was that yesterday or 2 days ago? I mean, totally thought J.A. Happ.
Japan. Played in Japan for 2 years.
There you go. All right. Makes sense.
And then in 2020, did not play. It says injury. I don't know if it was injury or COVID or
maybe
whatever.
both, yeah.
But he did not play in 2020 either. That's a weird. Yeah, because then he only played
What
in
a career.
He only played in 9 games in 21. So I assume he had an injury. He was hurt
carried
all of
over.
2020 and it carried over to 21. Brewers tonight. Cannot wait. Back home against St. Louis. They should eat. I expect them to eat. Make sure to join Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. He's on the road today at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward. This afternoon, he'll be there from 2-ish. You think he's there yet? Or you think he's still on his way? Sparky was running a little late. Life happens.
Right.
So,
right. We're hanging out. We're
here
feeling for him.
right? Yeah, absolutely. So Sparky's on his way. He'll be there momentarily. Momentary is a word, by the way. He'll be there from whenever he gets there until 5:30. Tommy will be there from 5:30 to 7, doing a special elongated version of the leadoff show, taking you up to the Brewers game, which is first pitch at 7:10 today at AmFam Field. If you missed any part of today's show, you can listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Middays with Thunder. If you missed any of Mason, you can do the Mason Crosby Show. If you are going to miss some of Wisconsin Sports Daily, you can get Wisconsin Sports Daily as well. So just go to your favorite app, hit the follow button. Who says hit the smash the follow
Smash
button?
the like button.
Smash the button. Let's go.
Subscribe, share with your friends.
You can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, whenever works for you. Badgers tomorrow at 11. I picked 37-7. Like, I know we didn't do scores on the Mason Crosby show. Do you have a score? Or are you just like,
we're 483
you sound like me now.
-6.
Oh my gosh. That's like Meathead, who on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line yesterday had the Packers winning 74 to -5.
I mean, that was pretty close.
It was.
It felt like it.
It felt like it. It looked like that for a while.
Danny O'Neal get through the game healthy?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. I fear for his health.
Yeah, I think. Really?
Yeah.
Is Alabama like? I don't fear Alabama in that way. Like, I don't think there's dominant.
Just
like,
wait. This is the get back game, right? This is the one where it's like, oh, did we overreact to Alabama and Florida State? Like, the Badgers pounded.
Right,
ugly.
but who did Alabama play last week? They pounded them. Didn't they win like 70-7 last week or something?
I don't even know if they were playing a game last week.
They played last week.
I'm not.
What?
Badgers cover the spread, I'll start to be less negative.
Okay.
All right. I'll put that out there as well. If the Badgers cover the spread, I will find something nice to say about the Badgers come Monday.
Where is Alabama? Dude, Alabama beat Louisiana Monroe 73-0.
Oh, yeah, the powerhouse, Louisiana
No,
Monroe.
but they got their get back game.
Yeah, I hate
they
that.
got it.
I actually wish the Badgers would have just been the get back game at that point.
Why?
Kick them while they're down. I don't need them to be all clicking now.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I'm
Kick
saying
who while they're down?
Alabama after
Alabama's
losing to
not
the
that-
Florida State
But
team.
clearly they weren't clearly they came back. They would have done that to the Badgers. Now that now they're full of themselves. Like, now they're happy with themselves. They think they're good. That they think they're back on track. And now the Badgers can catch them.
I think Middle Tennessee covering that spread was the worst thing the Badgers could have done this season. We were realistically, I was saying 4 games with the thought of they're going to win the first 2. I might have been a hater all the way on the first 2. Right. I had assumed they were going to beat the 2 teams that were non-Power 5 teams. Now the schedule starts. Like, now this is where things really start to ramp up for the Badgers on should they be taken seriously or not this year. Everyone we have on, and I love everyone, like between JOCKO and Ryan Herrings
you
and
hate
Nick.
everybody.
Nick's
hate
my
them all.
guy. I love Nick Osen.
Dylan Graff was
great. All of them are just like, this team's better than last team. I don't believe that. I do not believe that yet.
I don't think but I don't think they're worse than last year. Like, last year's team also
literally only 2 options, better or worse.
Right, then they got to be better because last year's team was horrible.
Yeah, I think this team's horrible.
How is this team horrible?
Because they have taken down 2 very mediocre teams.
I think you have your
terrible teams.
Your opposite rose-colored glasses on. I think you're hating just to hate. I don't think you actually believe what you're saying. I think you just want to hate this team. And I would say to you, you're not wrong. I also want to hate this team.
Okay.
Like there's hatred in my heart for what has happened with the Wisconsin Badgers football program. With that said, I think they are not a lot better than last year, but maybe a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. And if they're a little bit better, they're still 4-8. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But I think, like, I don't think they're worse than last year. I think last year was the floor. It was the valley.
We shall see, and it starts this week.
Yeah.
Starts tomorrow at 11.
It does. Sparky just texted his ETA is 210.
Okay.
So
we can take a break and then come back on the other side.
And then just throw it to him when he's ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's play illegal maybe.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, yeah, let's play illegal because that's the legal thing to do, and we like to follow the law here. Just don't drive behind me on the freeway because I'm probably never mind. This is what I don't know what's going on. What just it's after 2. I lost my brain. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. This is Middays with Thunder. We got a little bonus coverage coming up right here on 1250 AM 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app, and we're still on YouTube, baby. Let's go.
Off the fake, pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs. So a drive that started at their own 4-yard line goes 96 yards in 7 plays.
Now look at this formation to the left. And with a back, they're just assuming it's a run. Watch the linebacker come up, and because of that, now you've got a one-on-one matchup. Great release at the line of scrimmage there by Dobbs, but give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit. With that formation, that's a run look for this defense, especially down close in the low red zone area, and a good call there early to hit that quick slant for the touchdown.
Sometimes it's just that easy. Touchdown, Jordan Love to Romeo Dobbs to get things started last night on this Victory Friday. The Packers 27-18 in a game that was not that close at Lambeau last night. The Packers now 2-0, absolutely excited. Everyone, the state is like, the state wants them to play again on Sunday. They don't want to play again on Sunday, but we are like chomping at the bit.
What are we going to do for like the next 10 days?
I know. Just talk about it. And then they play the Browns. Like they're going to win that game 37-7. The same score that Alabama beats Wisconsin by tomorrow is going to be the score that the Packers beat the Cleveland Browns by next week.
Okay, we got to write that.
Yeah, write that down.
No, I need something like, I got to ask Mason the bigger margin of victory.
Oh yeah, that's a good
that's going to be by tomorrow. So
right.
I will
well,
have
if only you had a
him.
Google machine that like could text and communicate with other people before tomorrow.
I should Google Mason Crosby's phone number is what you're saying?
I feel like you should just like, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
What happens? I'm gonna ask.
What is Mason Crosby's phone number?
Oh my God! Mute your thing in case it says it over
there
the
is
air.
contactout.com. There is an email address. There's a public email address for Mason Crosby.
Gosh.
That can't be real, right? There's no way that's legit. I don't know. That's something. That's for sure.
Is it like at packers.com?
It is not. It's at boulder.cu.edu.
No way.
EDU, mate. No,
Do
it's
you
not.
still have your EDU email?
No, but I have a uwalumni.com email address that I never use. But I created it after I think people can keep their EDUs now.
No, they can't.
They can't? Okay.
Well, at least so I made the mistake of signing up accounts with it.
Oh, yeah, and you can't.
And now
you
it's
can't
like
recover anything.
I have stuff out there, but I have no idea how to cancel anything or whatever. Like,
right, because that email address legit does not exist.
Fun fact: Charlie will appreciate this, even though he can't hear me.
Right, that's fair.
My PlayStation account that I've had set up with since I had the PS4 now onto the PS5.
Sure, this is interesting so far.
Is with my Cudahy school district.
No.
So
what do you do?
I was like 8, and I just remember it.
Can't you just get
8th grade?
Can you get into the account and update your email address?
I don't think so.
You got to be able to somehow.
I don't think so.
I mean, I did that.
Pretty much stuck on
Little
Cudahy.
Rumble got locked out of Roblox a couple months ago, and I reset it in like 4 seconds. She was sobbing.
Yeah, I remember
because she's built like all these universes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
you sound like you got Roblox on lock.
Oh my God!
I don't know what it is either.
No, like Roblox, Minecraft, like they're all the same. Like it's just one of those universes that you build.
All right, yeah.
Do you even exist on Earth, bro?
I try.
All right. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Brewers play tonight. Packers win. Badgers play tomorrow. And make sure you get out to Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward today. Sparky is there. He's going to be there until 5:30. Tommy's then going to be there from 5:30 to 7. Get out there from 5:30 to 7. Go have a drink. Go have a Sun Cruiser with Tommy. Go have a drink with Tommy Wirtz. Go find the love that is Tommy Wirtz. Give Tommy Wirtz an attaboy. Give him a pat on the back. He deserves a pat on the back today. He's been doing yeoman's work. He worked all night last night. He's worked all day today. I almost think it's good that the Brewers play late tomorrow because then you can just like relax all day. Like you're not broken up in the middle. Can you?
Yeah. The weekends are
can
pretty
you sleep
chill.
and nap?
I just appreciate, like, my sleep schedule's already been messed up, but I do appreciate, like, the weekends I wake up no alarm while it might be 8 o'clock the latest still. Like, waking up no alarm a half hour earlier than you would or later than you would if you did have an alarm makes like the world of a difference. It feels like always.
Yeah. You are actually going to get to downtown at the perfect time because all the meters end at 6. So there's lots of transition at that time. So in the third ward, you should be just fine for.
I got to run back to the dirty sea before that. I think
you want to come out to Whitefish Bay instead, just hang out. Grab a
if
bourbon.
you had clothes I could fit in, I would
definitely
say,
have clothes you can fit in.
I don't think so.
I definitely have clothes you can fit.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? An extra large t-shirt?
Yeah, but I
pair
got
of shorts.
Yeah, I'm more of a double guy. I think I can.
I have some doubles.
My
Tennessee, actually, my big game tomorrow in Tennessee, Georgia, Tennessee. Pat McCurdy. Wow, Pat McAfee is in Knoxville right now. My Tennessee's a double. You can wear my Tennessee shirt. How cool would that be? I got a Red Sox double. You want to wear a Red Sox shirt during Brewers leadoff show? Would that be
I'm
weird?
not going to do that.
No, you're not going to do that. I think you should do that. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer joining us momentarily. If you're tuning in for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, Sparky just running a couple minutes late. He is going to jump on here any minute. Charlie's going to jump on as well. The Gentle Giant. What's up, Gentle Giant? Good. He's in the studios, the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You watched the game last night?
I did watch the game last night.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. That secondary for the Packers looks a lot better than I ever expected them to look so far this season. It's only week 2. That's how much fun it was to watch that defense once again. I'm fully convinced it is a top 3 defense in the NFL. And I'm also fully Matt LaFleur is going to be helping out Jordan Love a little bit more. And Jordan Love looked a little bit more aggressive in that game last night. I actually liked his aggressiveness in that game last night.
Well, I'm going to give you the next 1 hour, 2 hours and 47 minutes to talk about that because Steve Sparky Pfeiffer is ready at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward. So if you're out and about today, it's a beautiful Friday. Get out, have a beverage, have a Sun Cruiser vodka drink, iced tea with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Tommy will get there by 5:30. He's got the leadoff show as well. Want to thank everybody for jumping on today. JOCKO was here. Mikey Henninger was here. Charlie, great job earlier this week. Tommy, great job this week as always. I'll see everybody on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This has been Middays with Thunder on The Fan.